It's another episode of Rose Tinted Reels.
Spooky edition.
Oh yeah, was my voice not spooky enough for you? Yeah,
no, it was more seductive than spooky.
Well, I was going for spooky, so I've been doing it wrong in the bedroom this whole time. I've been going for...
Have you been flipping them?
Yeah, I think maybe I have.
Oh, that's an eye-opening experience into your dating life.
Okay, so I have to apologize to all my previous lovers. And this has gone off the rails really quick.
Yeah.
But look, this is Rose Tinted Reels. We're doing our Scream episode, and we're also welcoming a new guest to the show, Kaya Clay.
Our Scream Queen herself.
Hello.
Hi.
I don't know how to come in greeting hello. That's weird, right?
Well, you're
it's fine.
practicing your NPR voice.
Hello, Sydney. Is that better?
Very, very good. Very good.
I think you could have another take. Give it another take.
Oh, were we this is editing?
No.
I mean, we're casting you for this movie, and you're doing this voice. Let's hear it.
Oh God.
Come on, do your ghost face.
What's your favorite scary movie? Yeah, that sounded lame. They would not hire me for this role.
Yeah,
Well,
that
it
was
sounded
pretty good.
like maybe you took a shot of bourbon and you were kind of a wuss about your bourbons, and then you just kind of had that little rasp going.
You just called me out.
Have you been sneaking bourbon?
I can't drink bourbon to save my life. That's a painful.
Tastes like fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so do you have any personal news? Anybody to update our listeners on? They're very interested in these things. I'm sure they would be if we had any.
Well, I don't have too many terribly new and exciting things going on. I will say that I got a very adorable Disney Loungefly backpack that says "Just Married" and it has a little veil on it.
Because you're married.
You're a
'Cause
married
I'm
person.
married,
That's so
yeah.
weird.
Married lady.
And we're going to Disney World on our honeymoon, so it seemed appropriate.
Sorry, I laughed at you again. I didn't mean to. That was honestly
laughing
not
at me.
intentional.
Oh, I'm going to get a Carrie complex. They're all going to laugh at me.
So let me ask you a very serious question.
Uh-huh.
What is a flyback backpack?
Loungefly. It's a
Lounge-
brand.
okay.
It's a
Sure.
designer.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought this might have been a type of backpack, and I was just...
No, it's they're specifically Loungefly creates themed bags. They do them for Disney, for some horror movies, for
Harry
video
Potter.
games. Yeah,
I got you.
but they're precious.
And they're made out of flies that have just been lounging around, hence the name Loungefly.
It's easier to catch the lazy flies.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's go on to podcast news. I don't have anything. Do we have any people review our podcast on Apple Podcasts? Give it 5 stars?
We didn't, but some podcast news is that we're still going strong with our golden ticket giveaway. So find the comment about the golden ticket giveaway, like it, like us, and subscribe, and you could get a Blu-ray DVD copy of one of our reviewed films and an autographed pair of 3D specs.
Yep, it's very exciting. And also, you can just do the decent thing and go on to Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review and tell us exactly why you either love us or hate us. It doesn't matter.
Or you could also tell Zach why you do not believe you're a coward, because Zach has a theory that people who don't leave 5-star reviews are cowards.
Well,
Cowards.
that's kind of twisting my words, isn't it? A little bit. I said the people who rate us a 5-star, but don't leave a review, those are the cowards.
Well, I love whoever rates us well, because that means they enjoy us and are not just seeking comment notoriety. However, we want to know you're out there.
I think you just have a lower bar of expectation from our listeners. I hold them to a higher standard.
I think it comes from years and years of negging.
Oh, have you fallen victim to a lot of negging?
What is negging?
Oh, when
What?
someone
How
treats
do you not
you
know about this?
negatively to make you more needy and more
I have
seeking.
never heard
Like
of
your hair looks really good. You should wash it occasionally.
Oh, like a backhanded compliment.
Kind of, but it's typically used on men with self-conscious women to make them feel insecure and appreciative of any kindness that they receive from them.
Oh, that would explain my whole dating history.
If only you had known about this before.
Oh man, I should have read more Gloria Steinem.
Exactly. She talks about it extensively.
Chapters and chapters.
Okay, so anyway, anything else for this section of the pod?
So after this episode, we're going to be doing one more spooky film for the spooky season.
It'll be the finale to the spooktacular Halloween seasons.
It's true. And because I feel so passionately about my spooky films, I've asked Zach to loosen the reins on the rules for just one special movie.
It was really hard for me. Emotionally, I had a hard time putting a newer movie into this podcast, but I relented.
So we'll describe it towards the end of the podcast, so stick with us, but it released in 2013.
Oh, so modern.
So modern. I cannot believe that it was almost 10 years ago.
Let me
7.
7, 10, very
but
close
when you round
numbers.
up,
Yeah,
that's fair.
7, 10, very close, man. 3-way.
Anyway, so speaking of 1996.
Yeah. Are we going on to Act 2, Inside the Reel?
Well, I think it'd be great to get a little bit of history of Miss Kaya for the podcast, because we introduced her name, but we don't know anything about you.
Well, fun fact, this movie came out in December 1996. I was not even a full year old yet.
What? She is a baby.
I'm a little wee baby. But some pretty interesting things happened in this year, which I think is great because this movie kind of doesn't encompass it all, but it's such a great year for this movie to come out considering all the world events that happened. Mm-hmm. So we'll start off light and easy before we get to the really rough stuff that happened in 1996.
Okay.
But I still just want to know about you.
Oh, I forgot.
Give us your traumatic backstory.
Well, my parents got divorced when I was 6 months old.
And then you got bitten by a radioactive divorce attorney or something?
I wish, but that did put the bug in me to go to law school, so I'm in law school. I've got a year left. It's painful. I don't suggest it for anybody.
But you've weathered the storm, and you're about to be a high-powered,
Something. That's the hope. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Live the dream.
Yeah. When they say alcoholism is a thing among lawyers, boy, is it.
I've never heard that expression before.
Well, you're not a lawyer, see?
It's true. I'm not part of the Cool Kids Club.
You haven't been indoctrinated.
Cool Kids Drinking Club. I mean, Lawyer Club.
So is it your teachers that give you the alcohol, or do you have to go to the cafeteria to find it?
The cafeteria. We don't have a cafeteria.
Damn
we're
it.
not that great of a law school. But there definitely are events where there is free alcohol, and they figured out that students will show up to events if there is free pizza and free alcohol. Which is
Okay.
why I went to law school in the first place.
It's like the Cartman rule. More people are likely to show up if there's punch and pie.
That's true.
Absolutely. Literally, I went to some event planning committee for something, not in law school, but related to the law in general. And they said that nobody will show up to the event if there is no alcohol for free and there's no food for free. Don't even bother planning it.
That's fair enough.
I'm glad I brought spinach dip. That got Kaya to come.
It's the only reason I'm here.
Actually, the same rule applies to running events like 5Ks and marathons.
Alcohol?
Yeah, they always have alcohol at the end, and usually like oysters and clams. It's really strange.
So I know that at some marathons they have a beer at the end because it replaces some of the things you lose while running.
Like your dignity.
Yeah, like dignity. They'll also have chocolate milk because apparently that's a really good thing to have right after a run. But I can't think of something I want less than milk.
I can't think I would want... I mean, I don't run in general. I think that's gross enough. But adding oysters to the mix is just not... No.
It's very odd. So I've done a few 5Ks, and usually there's alcohol at the end and some sort of weird like oyster or something like that. My dad's done marathons, like full marathons, and I've been there, and alcohol is a big part of running.
Maybe it's just because I'm so fat, but
no,
you know,
not fat.
But when I run, it doesn't make me want to eat right away. But it's like something odd and slimy. Like I love raw oysters. I will slurp those suckers down. But I can't do it after a run because it's just like you're already kind of like swallowing snot balls, and that's kind of what swallowing an oyster's like.
So why would you want to eat it?
I think you're doing it wrong. I don't think the oysters are meant for you to swallow. They're meant to put over your nipples because they hurt so much from running.
So that's why they had string there also, so you could make a little bikini.
Are you an Andy type? Is that like with the chafing from The Office?
Oh, right, where he's bleeding.
He had to put like Band-Aids over.
Oh God, it's starting.
I just anytime I wanted, anytime they brought up running in high school, like you have to do the mile run or something, or the whatever that
presidential fitness,
the pacer test, where they make like it's like a series of beeps. The best way to get out of it and make your male gym teacher uncomfortable so that he can't say anything is, it'll hurt my nipples, they'll start to bleed. The second you say the word nipple, they can't do anything.
Is that a legally binding thing?
No,
Okay.
but I dare a male teacher to question you on your nipples.
Isn't also another good one PMS? That's what I've always heard. Like
Well,
you say, I've got-
no.
not
about the period
PMS,
anymore.
because
Oh, really?
PMS is technically before the period, not during.
But going back to The Office, didn't Pam use that excuse with her gym teachers? Didn't
Pam
she
is
say
a
that?
terrible character. I don't like Pam.
There's a lot of
This is crazy talk.
there's a lot of fans who feel that way, that Pam is actually an antagonist.
Well, in the 7th season, kind of.
I am team Karen all the way.
Actually, I'm with you on that. I did love Karen. She was pretty awesome. Although I'm also Team Pam, so I have a hard time here.
I just don't
I'm
like...
Team Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight and Angela,
I
they
think
had a
so,
good
too.
relationship towards the end. Now, I will say she's a cheater for someone who's a very judgmental Christian, but
Isn't that how it always works?
yeah, I judge you. You don't judge me. Only God can judge me.
Indeed.
Oh, sorry, we're not on atheistic cast.
Wrong podcast. Veering off course again. So I'm really happy to have you on. I feel like you're going to bring a nice perspective, and I think a counterbalance to Chris being on in the previous episode. See, he's,
He's
I was wondering where you're going with this.
he has a film degree, so he clearly knows everything.
well, see, that's
So,
the thing.
but
And I'm
that's what
hoping that you're going to come at things since you're more close to my age. Maybe you'll have seen the same sort of films and haven't seen the same sort of films that I have. Maybe you'll have a similar perspective. What I'm trying to say is I'm looking for someone to back me up.
Well, I think I come at it. Well, so Chris is my lover.
In the nighttime?
Lover.
So, but there is
They
an
feed
age.
each other goose meat.
Is that what lovers
that
do?
what kids call
Again,
it these days?
I keep doing things wrong in the bedroom. I haven't been feeding people goose meat.
There's an old SNL skit with the creepy people that call each other lava, and
In a hot tub?
They're sitting in a hot tub,
Yeah.
and
The
they're
Jimmy
talking.
Fallon one.
Yeah.
Well,
I hate
it's
him.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, but Jimmy Fallon's also in the
And
hot
he
tub.
just laughs the whole time,
Yeah.
so it ruins the whole thing.
But yeah, so Will Ferrell and his lady are just sitting beside each other, and they're like, and we would sit by the fire and feed each other goose meat.
Yeah, back when Will Ferrell was funny. Oh,
But
pour some out.
I think what's interesting for me is like this movie came out a year after I was born, so I didn't watch it maybe until I was like 10 years old. So I was way into the 2000s at that point. So it's I didn't get to experience the 90s like other people did, like my lover Chris did.
Yep.
I hate that word.
You don't have to use it. You can do something
I
else.
know. I don't know why I said it, but
Man friend?
There's an age difference there. So like he got to experience the 90s, and I got to experience the 90s
Oh,
and the 2000s.
And
through
he's going to
movies.
be sure to tell you that he experienced the 90s at every opportunity.
Oh, every opportunity. He was what, like
What era was he when he had the super long hair? Was that 90s?
I think that was 90s, Chris.
I would think, yeah,
Yeah.
90s.
That sounds
Chris.
nice.
Because
90s.
I've seen pictures of high school Chris. He was kind of a dork.
Aw.
We're all kind of a dork in high school.
Not me.
He still is a dork. He loves to play this. He's going to listen to this and kill me when I come home. He loves to play this, I'm Mr. Cool Guy, James Bond facade. No, absolutely not.
Well, he can't hide that from his lover in the nighttime, but
Yeah,
to
there's
everybody
only-
else.
You can't play Mr. Cool Pants all the time. You have to let
That's
your
true.
guard down.
yeah.
That's true.
Not me, though. See, I was cool in high school.
I was not.
I've heard counterpoints to this.
From who? Liars.
Well,
I was I owned that high school.
That is not true, because I know people you went to high school with, and they had never even heard of you.
Wait, what are you talking about?
This guy I used
I
to
was
date.
talking about Allie.
This guy I used to see in the night. And
Uh-oh.
went to the same high school as you at the same time.
Well, what was his name?
was he
I'm
also...
not naming names.
All right, well, I'll cut this out. See, this is going to be a cut point. Quipap. All right, what?
No, I've shown you pictures of him.
See, I bet
I'll
you
show
didn't,
you after.
I bet you didn't expect this to be very gotcha journalism.
Is this really? Are we really cutting this out? Because
I can, yeah.
Okay.
So, out of respect for the identity of the man that's trying to defame my position in high school, I'm just going to give you the sound of me humming for a moment. All right, then we're going to go back to me being totally respectful and keeping an even keel in the face of adversity.
kid.
Well, I don't remember him either, so he must not have been so cool.
Yeah, you can cut this whole part out. This is maybe cut out the part of me making fun of Chris because
No, that's definitely staying in. And the cut stopped right before you said that. So
Are we allowed to curse?
Yeah.
No, please.
Fuck yeah.
No, don't ever swear.
It's just his delicate fucking sensibilities.
All right, so inside the reel. So what was going on in 1996?
Oh boy, this is my favorite part. I prepared for this.
I'm so excited.
Do you want to? Let's go in a circle.
A round robin.
You do a thing. Allison will do a thing. I'll do a thing. We'll just go around.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
So you start us off.
So do you want me to start with like the craziest thing that happened that year, or do you want that to be like the grand finale?
I think you should start with your favorite fact. Keep in mind, if we're going around the table, one of us might accidentally hit one of your facts.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, this is my favorite, and it's also the lightest one on there, but it had such an impact on my childhood. Arthur debuted on PBS.
Oh, I love Arthur.
Arthur being
The Aardvark?
yeah, that fella.
Yeah, that fella.
We said in unison, the Aardvark.
I'm trying to remember his theme song.
You know what's funny is
had
the
it
more
in my
I
head.
try to think of it, all I hear is "What's the story, Wishbone?"
It's like, hey,
Hey, what a wonderful time of day.
Yeah, that's
where you
it.
can learn to work and play
Okay.
and get along with each
So
other.
you just set me up for that. Is what just happened. You
What?
knew.
No, I didn't.
That was it.
No, yeah, I've seen the show. I couldn't remember the theme song until you started. me.
Okay, well that's it. You're welcome.
So divers find the ancient port of Alexandria. So I don't know much about the port, but I know that the port of Alexandria had actually sunk. And it's an entryway into.
She's doing hand gestures.
I know.
Great for radio. Describe your hand gestures. You're shoving like
So-
spam back into the can.
Yes,
That's what it looked
yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Kinda.
So I wasn't prepared to talk about the ancient port of Alexandria, but it is off the coast of the Nile, and it was an ancient trading port. So it sank, and so they had tried to speculate where the entrance of the port actually was, and so when the divers found it, it clarified some historical contextual things.
Does Zach?
Yeah, I'm happy about that. All right, so let me tell you this. Movie releases of the year. Mm-hmm. Got your Independence Day, Twister, Mission Impossible, Jerry Maguire, 101 Dalmatians, Nutty Professor, The Birdcage, Time to Kill, The English Patient, and Star Trek First Contact.
I love The Birdcage.
I do too.
I
But
do
who
too.
won Best Picture that year, Zachary? Do you know?
I really hope you know, because I don't.
It's Braveheart, a movie I've never seen because fuck Mel Gibson.
I haven't either.
I have, and I conclude that you don't need to see it because it's not actually historically accurate.
Oh,
Well, I also say fuck Mel Gibson, but I would like to see it at some point.
I'll have Chris is Scottish. At some point, I'll have to watch it.
Just go to real Scotland. Any Scot with their salt knows their own.
Just go there with some blue paint, and like they'll know what to do.
Get offended.
No,
There's a what? Oh man, I missed. The
Paint their
joke.
posteriors.
There's trolls there. No, what's the blue
what?
one? What's the
Well,
blue
so now
people?
you're getting racist.
What are the no like?
It-
There's troll. Yeah, the Smurfs. That's
Oh, okay.
it.
Thought you were trying to racistly say that there were trolls still living in
Yeah,
Scotland.
I was like,
like trolls, like the troll doll.
you're a
Okay.
troll man.
You're a troll, man.
You see a ginger guy walk by. Oh, it's a troll. Children, look.
Zach, don't talk about
Look for the
yourself.
gem in his belly. Look for the gem in his belly. If you rub it, you can make a wish.
How did he get out from under the bridge? Isn't he supposed to be? So anyway, that's all I had. What do you have as your next piece of 1996ness?
This is very, very sad. And Tupac Shakur died.
Well, so people say.
I mean, yeah, that's.
It hasn't been proven.
No. Have we
They
seen
don't have his body.
Have we seen a body? I haven't seen a body.
Zach has not seen a body, therefore they are not dead.
That's always true. If I haven't seen the body, they are not dead.
I kind
Body
of wonder
proof.
if in Zach's world there's just a lot of zombies going around. They're not fully dead.
No, not until I see them.
That was also the year that the Nintendo 64 released in Japan.
And North America.
Speaking of Japan, that was also the year that DVDs launched in Japan.
You stole my fact.
You stole one of mine.
Well, let's fight about it.
All
Kaya.
right,
Who
throw
won?
down.
Oh, I got a kicker, man. That's really bad considering what I'm about to say. Jean Benet Ramsey was murdered.
Oh,
that's so. Why would you have set it up that way? That's crazy.
Seriously, me too.
I've got such a kicker. You guys are gonna love it.
It's a hoot.
Death.
I'm sorry.
Cheesy peasy.
I'm a horrible person.
Someone's got to win an award for having the most morbid news.
Yeah, really though.
Oh, there's more.
Okay.
But that's like, that was such a crazy thing to happen in like not pop culture, but like,
The way it was sensationalized on news media.
yeah, and to this day, it's still a thing. So, I mean, that was pretty crazy.
There was a
Yeah.
really interesting documentary style film that came out on Netflix about the Jean Benet case, casting Jean Benet.
Yeah.
It was very good. And they just take different approaches. They hire different actors, different families to go over all the different theories surrounding the murder of Jean Benet.
It was her brother.
Yeah, did anyone solve it?
No.
I think it's kind of wildly popularized the theory that it was the brother and the parents covered up the brother killing.
What about Cheryl Baskins? Did she do it?
That bitch.
Isn't it
I still haven't watched
Carol?
It's Carol Baskin.
Whatever. Cheryl Baskins.
Cheryl Baskin.
That's her sister. She also did it.
Oh, freaking Cheryl.
So I don't watch Dancing with the Stars, but is she doing well on that show?
I don't watch it either, but this is the best thing I've ever seen in my whole life. So she is famously accused of murdering her husband at the time, right? Mm-hmm. So the Dancing with the Stars airs, and it's like a big deal because not only is it Carol Baskin,
Cheryl
but it
Baskins.
just
her name.
renamed her.
Chriselle Staus from Selling Sunset, the biggest like reality show on Netflix right now. Big BFD. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And then the first commercial break is the family of Don Lewis, her supposedly murdered husband, begging for answers and begging for people to come out with proof that Carol Baskin's murdered their father.
Whoa.
And it's like they must have spent so much money because like what Dancing with the Stars is on ABC, like that's a big network. They must have spent a disgusting amount of money to air an ad during her Dancing with the Stars spot, begging people to come forward saying that she murdered their dad.
I like that though. That's good.
It's petty, and I live for it.
So I haven't seen the documentary about the
tigers
tiger
and the
wrangler.
kings.
Yeah.
I can't watch it.
It's not. It's. At the time it came out, it was great because the world was in such shambles that you needed a distraction.
Yeah.
But like it's kind of it's right. It's still in shambles. But what makes me really sad about it is the glorification of drug use, the glorification of just batshit crazy people, and like we love to see it. And like everyone's like, free Joe Exotic. No, he was a terrible human being. They're all terrible. Why are we giving these people our time and money? However, I gave them lots of time and money because I bought some T-shirts.
So what you're saying is, do as I say, not as I do?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's looking back on it now, it's bad.
It was a big cultural touchstone, and I completely ignored it while it was happening.
Yeah, Chris did too. Chris refuses.
Yeah.
It's just at the basic level, without the scandal and everything, it's still about people being abusive to animals.
Yeah.
And on that fundamental level, I can't get behind it.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Murder the people. I just don't touch the animals.
Speaking of, in 1996, Dolly the sheep becomes the first mammal to be successfully cloned.
Dolly the clone.
I remember that happening. I was in geography class, I believe, when I heard about this.
He raised his finger like a scientist doing a eureka when he said that.
Professorially.
There's also the blizzard of 96 in 1996. I know you're shocked by the name Blizzard of 96. But in Maryland, we got 4 feet plus of snow.
I also remember that.
So you know how much I love my murders. The Menendez brothers are found guilty of murdering their parents.
Who are these
one
people?
of them named Cheryl Menendez.
I don't. You don't know the Menendez brothers? I don't remember their
so.
name. It was like Lyle and something. Lyle and Eric, maybe. They're just some rich white boys that decided their parents were giving them enough money to do rich white boy shit, so they murdered them. And then, like, tried to blame the gardeners. I don't know the full story, but it's like a whole thing.
Eric
that
and
sounds
Lyle.
great. Well, life's hard for everybody.
Especially their parents.
Especially the parents. And the gardener, probably.
So that was also the year that Wannabe came out by the Spice Girls and was #1. So that's very similar to Murders.
Can you sing a little bit of it?
My ears were murdered.
I'll tell you what you want, what you really, really want.
I said sing a little bit of it?
Oh, that's how the beginning starts.
If you want to be my lover.
Oh, I know that song. Ask Jeeves was formed on this year.
Oh,
So,
I love Ask
Funny
Jeeves.
story. You know how the commercial, like, everyone's doing something and then they ask Jeeves a question? I thought that's how it worked because that was, like, before, like, Google and Yahoo were really popular.
Right.
So I thought you could just ask a question and they would give you answers, and I couldn't figure out why it was just giving me websites to click on.
Right. So I was an advocate for Google before, like when everyone was into Ask Jeeves. Mm-hmm. Like I remember being in whatever grade I was in, like middle school or something. And I was going into the library, and the librarian was like teaching us how to use the internet and like how to use Ask Jeeves. And I was like, oh, and Dogpile was another big one. There was another thing called Dogpile.
I remember Yahoo and
That sounds like a porno.
It kind of does. I think we all laughed at it, but I was like, you should use this thing called Google.
Well, also that year, and Zach will like this one a lot.
Good.
Steve Jobs' company, NEXT, was purchased by Apple Computers.
What? Get out of town. That is a good one. Mm-hmm. So the last one I have is that IBM's Deep Blue computer defeats chess champion Garry Kasparov for the first time.
Very nice. Bill Clinton signed the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty at the UN. We had the Iraq disarmament crisis, and Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, was arrested.
Ted Kaczynski?
It really was a very
It's a bad
busy
year.
It was a busy year.
Please, someone write a book about this year. 'Cause
Lots
what
of
a
murder.
whirlwind.
Yeah, lots of murder.
Lots of murder.
Yeah.
Murder.
All right, so I think you win the prize for having the most morbid news.
celebration.
what
An
everybody
applause.
Congratulations.
Thank you. This is the height of my life.
I think it's time for actual synopsis, our synopsis.
Do you want to hit us with the real synopsis first, and then Kaya will come in with some false synopses?
Absolutely.
All right.
So, the actual synopsis for the film. A year after the murder of her mother, a teenage girl is terrorized by a new killer who targets the girl and her friends by using horror films as part of a deadly game.
So would you like me to say my fake one first?
Yeah, I want to see how you go with this.
4 words. Meta murder for millennials.
Ooh, I really like that.
Yeah, that was 4 words. Just count it. Just making sure.
Thanks for keeping me on track.
God. Teenage boys' pent-up sexual aggression leads to murder. And
That's a
they
good one.
suck.
And they suck
And
at
they
it.
suck.
They kind of do.
They're so
do.
gay. Like, one thing I really appreciate about this movie, and I rewatched it last night just to, like, freshen my mind, was, like, when you see the Ghostface character running around, they are so gangly and awkward that it kind of, like, it has to be one of them, right? It has to be a teenager at least.
Yeah.
So Matthew Lillard has come back and mocked himself for
hates
how he looked in the film. He's like, my head looks so tiny.
He also
Who is
said
this?
Stu. Matthew Lillard,
he plays
the guy
he
who
plays
played
Shaggy in the
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he's also in 13 Ghosts, which I love
Oh.
him in 13 Ghosts.
Yes.
haven't seen that.
He's an all-around great human being.
Tony Shalhoub is in 13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
Who?
Tony Shalhoub, Monk,
Monk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Shannon Elizabeth.
Who?
So Kai and I
I
actually
genuinely don't know.
became
See,
friends.
that's why we have this podcast.
I know.
Because you don't know.
So Kai and I actually became friends at a horror movie convention. And we went to a Shannon Elizabeth Q&A at the horror movie convention.
Was she the first one? Because I know we met Matthew Lillard together at the first one. I think she was
at
there
the same
too.
one.
You're right.
Yeah. There
was
was
a good
a
time.
13 Ghosts reunion.
Yes.
So who was the last person you said? Was it a lady? I think?
Shannon Elizabeth from 13 Ghosts. Oh, she was also in American Pie.
Oh,
Yes.
was she?
Oh,
And
she was
she's
not yet. The one that,
All the boys loved.
yeah.
And am I crazy in saying that she's also in Love Actually at the very end? She's one of the American girls.
I think you're right. It was her, and then there was also Denise Richards.
Yes, Denise Richards. And then the one girl, the other blonde girl who was in,
She was in Road Trip.
yeah.
Was she in Eurotrip,
Amy
though?
Smart, I think. No, I could be wrong.
Amy Smart? She was in Crank.
What is Crank?
What? That's the Jason Statham movie. It's one of the best movies ever.
It's like the one where he needs medicine to stay alive or something, like
Yeah.
because his heart's
It's-
gonna
it's
explode.
the most-
Is he an
goofy.
American citizen?
No.
Jason Statham?
I'm just kidding. I was making a joke about our healthcare system.
no. He does steal all his medicine anyway, so it's fine.
Okay, fair enough.
No, it's a great movie. It's the most goofy action movie you're ever going to see. Like, he genuinely, like, in the first movie, he keeps having to inject himself with things to keep himself alive. And so he's just, like, going around killing people, running people over, his boner's coming out of his, like, medical gown and stuff like that. It's crazy.
I feel like I I have seen this actually, but I'll have to. If you say Jason Statham and Boner in the same sentence, it's definitely worth a rewatch.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we're past the synopsis now. Let's get into some trivia about the movie.
So Drew Barrymore continued to accidentally dial 911 because the prop master forgot to turn off the phone. So the cops called back in the middle of filming a scene and it's like, why do you keep calling and screaming?
We're going to have to ask you to stop.
God damn it, Drew.
So actually, on that note, this was supposed to be my last one, but I'm going to put it here because it's kind of relevant. So all the killer's phone calls were really done by Roger Jackson on set with a cell phone. And at one point, the crew were contacted by the police demanding to know who that was, because they thought he was a real serial killer making calls to people.
Well, to play on that, Russ Craven never let the cast meet Roger Jackson because they didn't want them to know what he looked like. Because if anyone knows what Roger Jackson looks like in real life, he's like 5'6" and just the most lovable person ever.
See, I wasn't sure that was why. I read that and I thought it might have been.
He's not an intimidating man.
No,
Okay.
he kind of looks like Roger Moore, or not Roger Moore, the director of The Lord of the Rings.
Peter Jackson?
Peter Jackson. Oh, now I wonder. Secret theory.
Maybe. Are they related?
Yeah.
Brothers.
So I actually met him at Roger Jackson, not Roger Moore, or
Peter Jackson.
or Peter Jackson. I actually met him
What about Percy Jackson? Sorry, go ahead.
He's an Olympian. I haven't met him or the creator of the books,
Rick Riordan.
Riordan?
Yeah, which they're about to do a new series.
Yeah,
of.
because he hated the movies.
Oh, really?
Can't say I blame him.
Hated them.
I never saw any of them.
I didn't. I never read the books because I'm not a loser.
Same, right here, up high.
Listen, I think it's a beautiful story. He created it for his son because his son has dyslexia, and he wanted to give a reason why someone might have dyslexia.
Oh, does the main
Kaya
character have
is an
this?
asshole now.
Laughing at disabled people, that's what Kaya does. So is the main character dyslexic or something?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and so the reason is because he's supposed to be an Olympian, and the words would rearrange to try to form clues, but he didn't understand them yet because he hadn't tapped into that power source.
Ah, interesting.
Okay, maybe I'll read the books.
I'm not gonna.
So I have a huge love of Greek mythology, and
Me too.
so it's always fascinated me, that kind of storyline. I never finished the book series, but I also was a kids department lead at a bookstore, so it was more imperative for me to know those things, I feel.
Yes.
Anyway, so very much like Roger Jackson, who he voiced a lot of characters in the Powerpuff Girls show, and so I knew him as Mojo Jojo.
Yes. And
Is that the same guy?
Yeah, same guy.
Was he also the voice of him as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And so
Wow.
when we went up together, our friend Tony Belante was getting something autographed for the voice of Ghostface, and I was like, I just love Mojo Jojo. And he's like, you are very wise to like Mojo Jojo. And like, he went and had a whole conversation with me as Mojo Jojo, and I
That's
was just
adorable.
like giddy.
Yeah, that's great.
So one of the facts I have was Scream was not the original movie or title of the movie. It was originally Scary Movie, not to be mistaken with the Anna Faris shithole film series.
Boo.
But yes, it was originally Scary Movie. I don't remember why they changed it to Scream though.
They changed it to Scream because of a song.
Ooh, what was the song?
The Scream, Janet Jackson song, The Scream.
Who's Janet Jackson? No, I'm kidding.
You're just pulling a Zach over there.
You do not know the face I
You
just
could
gave
see
her.
Allison's eyes.
They're normally big. I get compared a lot to Igor from Young Frankenstein.
Well, that's unfair. That's not nice.
It's how big my eyes get. They're that huge.
No, no, not that big.
This just took a turn.
Welcome to Allison's self-esteem corner.
Comparing yourself to Igor from Young Frankenstein?
I didn't say I had a hump.
No, but the eyes are, that's...
Yeah, so Wes Craven never warmed up to the switch of the name.
So Wes Craven kept telling Drew Barrymore real-life stories about animal cruelty to keep her looking scared and crying.
Oh, God.
She's a keen
So
animal
she's
lover in real life.
I feel a soul companionship with Drew Barrymore right now.
Yep.
In the opening scene with Drew Barrymore, the person in the Ghostface costume was actually Wes Craven himself because he wanted to show everybody how to do it the way he wanted it done.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder how the actors take that sort of thing, because I know actors usually don't like line readings, And that's kind of like a physical version of a line reading.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to act exactly this way.
Yeah, if you don't do this, you're out of my film.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how that went down.
But it was a bunch of young actors, so they probably didn't have a choice.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Linda Blair from Exorcist and Wes Craven both had cameos in the film. Wes Craven showed up, named him Freddy, and he was wearing a Freddy sweater.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And he was the janitor.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So who was the first person you said?
Linda Blair, who
The Exorcist?
she's the lead actress from The Exorcist.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't she like
that
a
was
reporter?
beautiful. People have a right to know.
Yeah, so she was the reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
something.
somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
After Murder 1, maybe a little bit before Murder 2.
It's when Sydney...
She was the other one that wasn't Courtney Cox.
Yeah, she was the one who was interrogating Sydney as Sydney was trying to go to school on the second day. I think it was right before Sydney punches.
Gail Weathers.
Yeah.
What do you think about the punch? Did you think that was a good punch or justified?
Yes, absolutely justified. And we'll get into this later when we talk about how we feel about the acting in the film, because I'm not so pleased with Neve Campbell's performance in this role, and not to blame her. I think she's a great Sidney Prescott, but she could have punched a little harder. I think that was like a dainty little punch.
Well, but how many punches do you think she'd ever done in her life before that?
That's true. I'm just saying the amount of damage she did to Gail Weathers' face was not from that punch. I'm thinking Gail Weathers did something else on the side.
Maybe she
okay.
beat herself up a little bit to get that kind of empathy play later.
Yeah, exactly. That makes a lot of sense.
She's a little crafty bitch.
So, speaking of Courtney Cox, she had to really fight for the role.
Yeah.
She was not anyone's first choice, but she wanted to show that she wasn't this nice person that she was on Friends and could in fact be a bitch. Her words.
Oh yeah. So this is the best fact I think I saw. With the scene where Rose McGowan playing Tatum is in the doggy door, like about to die, she is too small for the doggy door, so she kept falling out, and they had to nail her shirt to the garage door because she kept falling out every time it went up.
Yeah, but how is that going to help her stay in? I feel like her shirt's just going to come
I
off.
don't know.
If that happens, that happens.
And I just I thought a lot about that scene because when you look at her body compared to the doggy door, she doesn't look like she's too small for it. But then Chris is like, remember, she's like hunched over. She's hunched over.
Hunched over.
So I don't know.
Was that your doing a Chris voice?
Well, no, because I walked away from the mic.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to make sure the audience could hear me.
I think another great horror movie convention moment was there was a cosplayer who was doing her and was basically halfway through the frame of a dog door.
I remember that.
She was great.
I love creative cosplays like that, where it's like things that you just don't normally think of, and then it's a door frame for the person.
How big though would they have had the rest of the? Would they have the garage door with them also, or just the frame?
They just had the frame and like the doggy.
I would love someone with enough commitment to bring an entire garage door.
That would hurt.
Yeah, and with how crowded those horror movie convention hallways go, you would be nobody's friend.
Yeah, but it would help with social distancing.
I was going to say, it would help with social distancing, and also, nobody showers at these things, so you wouldn't smell anybody because they'd be way too far.
I just imagine someone be like, hey, Allyson, what? And take
him out.
Clear the halls. Everybody move.
So the last trivia that I have is that this is the rare slasher franchise where the original director helmed every movie in the franchise. That's never happened before or since.
And I think he had something to do with the TV show a little bit before he died as well.
There was a TV show?
Yeah,
it was
TV.
Yeah, I didn't know
There's
that.
3 seasons.
What?
I watched the first season.
Yeah, the first 2 seasons I watched. The third season didn't debut until 5 years later on Netflix, and I just never got around to watching it.
Did you know that Matthew Lillard ad-libbed his most famous line, Mom and Dad are going to be mad at me?
And then also, him and Neve Campbell dated while filming this movie.
No,
I had no idea
didn't know
about that one.
Scandal.
What?
She should have been with Billy.
I still ship them. Is that bad? I might have issues.
I think you've got issues. Yeah.
I think you just ship yourself with him.
I love that man so much. So much so that when I met him at a horror convention, I told him that, and he looked horrified.
Well, weren't you also dressed as Betty or Veronica? Veronica.
I was dressed up as Veronica Lodge from Riverdale, one of my favorite shows. I am tacky like that. And he, looked annoyed that somebody was dressed up from Riverdale because, he's there for Scream. Let's be real. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, oh, don't worry. Next time I'll be dressed up as Cindy.
Cindy.
Who am I? What?
Crawford.
Oh, and
I know how you love Cindy Lou Who.
oh my God. What a nightmare. He probably remembers that now and talks about it at parties.
Yeah, definitely.
At least you
pretty
didn't
sure.
cry so hard that an actor gave you a cookie.
Are
That's
we
what
talking about
happened
Chris
to me.
Sarandon?
No, I'm talking about me with Felicia,
Felicia
Day.
Day.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do remember. I wasn't there for that. I remember you telling me that.
I was there
though.
with Chris, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, he was cast because he looked like Johnny Depp, and they wanted someone that looked like Johnny Depp because of the connection to...
I've always thought that, especially Skeet Ulrich kind of looking similar
Aldrich?
to...
Did you say Aldridge?
Oh, I may have mispronounced. Sorry.
That's my
You're
dad's. That's my
Ulrich.
dad's middle name. You know.
Looked like Depp from Crybaby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, if you... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Zach. I just saw your mouth open. But...
You got there faster. It's fine.
He's just a mouth breather.
But Jughead Jones in Riverdale was made to look like him in Scream. And they look exactly alike.
So tell me this: are you also a big fan of the Johnny Depp?
Yes and no. I love a young Johnny Depp. Not because of this whole scandal that's happening with him now. That aside,
And Amber Heard and...
Yeah, that aside, I just think he's like not original. I think we've outplayed Johnny Depp. Put him to rest. Let him
Well,
live
I
his
think he's
life.
kind of like Will Ferrell. Like his thing was great. Like he is original. Like it's his thing.
Right, he started
but then it's
something,
outplayed.
and now it's gone way too far.
Yeah.
Tim Burton's like just put it to rest. Get someone new in there.
Although, what do you think about Black Mass? I didn't see it, or Black Mass, but
I was like, what?
Black Mass. Yeah, that's
Is
that's
it the
on
new
Pornhub.
Pirates of the Caribbean film?
that is
That
definitely
is
the
that is
Pornhub
the Pornhub version.
I love that. Okay, so Black
the black
Mass.
pearl necklace.
never saw it.
That wasn't him being like.
That's the Whitey Bulger one, right?
Yeah, he wasn't being like traditional Johnny Depp in that one.
No, I mean, like, I never saw it, but I'm assuming, like, he had a lot of face makeup on, so I'm sure he wasn't like, oh, I'm a drunken pirate. Meh.
His
that
first
your
3
impression
drunken
of
pirates were
Johnny?
good, though.
I liked it. I like the Pirates movies. I've only seen the first 2 or 3, I think.
That's all you need to see.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm trying to think of, like, if I could name a favorite Johnny Depp movie, I think it would be Crybaby. I don't think I can think of, like, he was great in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Did you like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Never saw that. I should see it, though.
It's worth seeing.
Isn't he in the original 21 Jump Street or something?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
I'm
can't remember who he
imagining-
was co-starring with, though.
Some dude.
I would have known it had you not asked, because they talk about it a lot in A Night at the Roxbury.
Which is another movie I haven't seen that I should
either.
see. But I mean, I'm indifferent to Johnny Depp. I'm annoyed that they put him in the Harry Potter movies, the new ones, but I also don't like those to begin with, so I don't really
Yeah.
care either way.
Yeah, same.
I just think that Johnny Depp is really good at being Johnny Depp and nothing else.
Well, but that's what I think. Primarily, he is just exploiting his Johnny Deppness. But when he does something like Black Masked, which he also
I think it's
does,
Black Mask.
it definitely is. But he also did the porn version. He's fine
See,
with
that's
it.
an edgier. Well, oh, you know what? We completely forgot. So the reason I don't like Johnny Depp is because I think a lot of films frame the film around Johnny Depp being Johnny Depp. But there's
Yeah.
one role that really shocked the entire world, and that was his role in Tusk.
He's in Tusk. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
didn't
This
know
is
he was-
exactly what I'm saying.
Okay.
He had face makeup on, so nobody realized it was Johnny Depp. But
Okay.
Johnny Depp is in Kevin Smith's movie about turning Justin Long into a walrus.
So maybe I need to see this movie now.
So I like that Johnny Depp. I like Johnny
Okay.
Depp when he's not being Johnny
Yeah, when he's covering himself up.
Yes.
It's kind of like when Tom Cruise does cameo roles, like in,
Oh, in Tropic Thunder.
Thunder.
Oh, it's great. That's his best role.
Because that's Tom Cruise actually being Tom Cruise. He's that much of an asshole in real life.
Probably, yeah. He seems like such a nice guy, though. If you see him in interviews and stuff like that, he's got the act down pat to
Oh,
like
it's because
seem
he's
like
a
he's a normal.
sociopath. He
a
has
normal
no
guy.
Richard
feelings.
Grieco. God, sorry, it took me
Grieco.
forever to get to Richard Grieco.
So I'm not sure I've ever seen a real Richard Grieco movie, but there was an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia about him.
Yeah,
I have no
well,
idea who that is.
So Richard Grieco was in the original 21 Jump Street playing opposite Johnny Depp.
He's got like brown curly hair like me, right? He's in. Is he in Night in the Roxbury? Is he the other guy?
No, he is a guy that they hit the car of, and
Okay, then I have no idea. I'm thinking of the other guy in Night in the Roxbury.
He kind of looks like poor man's Billy Zane.
Oh, he's like a murderer and like everything.
Yeah.
At least he looks like a murderer.
And we're back to the murder topic at hand.
Do we have any more trivias?
Actually, I do have one major point to bring up that this has been really bothering me. It's not a trivia fact, but
It's our show. She hates it.
I just need to get out. The poster of the Scream. Who's the woman in the background? Because it's not Drew Barrymore. It's not Neve Campbell. It's not Courtney Cox. Who the fuck that bitch is?
Isn't it supposed to just
Is it this
look
one
like
with the hand over the mouth?
Yeah, like that's the background of the poster. Like,
I think isn't that Drew Barrymore?
Is she?
I think it's supposed to be Drew Barrymore because they didn't want to show too much of Drew Barrymore. So I guess I do have a little bit more trivia because they thought that Drew Barrymore was a pull into it. So they didn't want people to know her life expectancy for the movie.
I don't think it is her.
Oh, I just think it's supposed to look like her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just
I
assumed
totally
it
agree
was.
with
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know about the movie poster, but I will say they were trying to bury the lead on how quickly Drew Barrymore died to make the opening sequence the most shocking.
Oh, yeah. And I think that's set because they do that after this movie came out. They've done that in a lot of films, actually. And I think Wes Craven kind of set that formula for let's get like a really big star in here and kill her off in the first 3 minutes.
Yeah,
So
basically George R.R. Martin just ripped that off.
So I think one of my favorite things, though, was in the fourth movie at the beginning, they just kept doing it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they
Over
just-
and over with
yeah.
stab 3, stab 4. Yeah. It was, yeah.
So, what was your nostalgia rating for this piece of cinema?
So I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Sieben?
And I think my prediction rating for you, and by I think I know because I wrote it down,
Right.
is a 5 out of 10.
All right. We'll see. We'll just have to see. Maybe I'll love this movie. Maybe I'll give it an 11 out of 4.
That doesn't add up.
Sure it does. It's just an improper fraction.
Yeah, you're making me do math in my head, and I kind of hate you for it.
Well.
Anyway, so Kaya, before you rewatched it, before coming onto the show, did you have an idea going in what you were going to rate that movie? Like, in your head, what is your rating?
It's a 10 out of 10 for me, Cotton. And the reason I say it's because Scream is the first scary movie I ever saw, and that's what made me love the horror genre. So I think it will always be my ultimate favorite movie in general. But also, like, it's just so cool. It's so fucking cool. And it makes me want to be cool and murder people.
Hey,
I'm kidding. I don't want to
see?
murder people.
Yeah, you don't need to kill people to be cool. And I keep telling you this because
She does
shouldn't say
PSAs
that.
at elementary schools everywhere. You don't need to kill people to be cool.
Watch, like, the
It's-
bar exam committee is going to be like, so you said this thing on a podcast once. We just got to check this out.
So I have two very passionate things that I try to communicate every episode. One is you don't have to murder to be cool,
Right.
and 2 is get your fucking flu shot.
Yeah, that's true. That's very
Did
true.
you get yours yet, Zach? You got
no.
your insurance. Get your flu shot.
I know. I need to do all sorts of different things. I got to go to the skin doctor because I'm super duper white. And
yeah.
I got lots of problems with the old skin.
Kaya, did you get your flu shot?
No, because my mom switched jobs, so I don't have health insurance for the next 2 weeks.
All right. You'll get a pass for now.
Oh, God. Hopefully nothing happens to me. Knock on. That was me knocking on wood.
That's right. She knocked on my head.
I make that joke all the time. And everyone calls me a dork for it.
You totally are.
Yeah. I'm willing to accept my dorkiness. It's just a natural thing to be.
Indeed.
So, shall we get into the movie?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, you look like you had something to say.
I did.
Go on.
I don't know. We had like 3 tangents between my thought and now, and I've forgotten it.
So, with us being the tangentile twins, I'm disappointed in you for forgetting.
I know. But sometimes it happens.
So,
I'm not
you were
perfect.
talking about your skin and being white.
Quite.
Super white.
Super white.
Yeah. Oh, you're white out.
No, I'm more white than that. White is pure white. I'm white with defects.
But what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
The other side of the
Okay,
pillow.
I'm the oldest one here.
Are you talking about Vanilla Ice, Ice Cold, the movie? Or
No,
Cool
I'm
as
talking,
Ice?
'Cause
I'm
we
talking
watched
about
that, didn't we?
We
Outcast.
did. We watched the...
Yeah.
I'm talking about Outcast.
You're not too old for Outcast. We all know Outcast.
She pulled this on me last episode. She
No,
pulled this on me
no,
last episode as well.
No, because I just did an Outcast quote, and none of you picked up what I was putting down.
All right, all
True.
right, all right.
So yeah, we've done our little ratings and such. The first thing that I have for the movie, we're going to go into movie analysis. And the first thing I have, what? Don't laugh at my voice. That's
He
just
likes
how I
the
sound.
anal assist.
Anal assist.
Movie analysis. So we've got to go to the timestamps, and so I have timestamped the entire first scene
Oh boy.
Okay.
So we're just gonna watch the movie.
So can I do a little bit of a lead-in if we're going to be playing the entire thing?
Yes.
Okay. So this is something that I couldn't corroborate, like I couldn't find information on about Wes Craven's origins to the opening of this sequence. However, in plays where they used to have just horror plays, movies weren't around yet, in the early to mid 1800s, one of the tropes from the plays was someone listening on some sort of receiver. It was the late 1800s, I'm looking at my note. And they had to listen while their family was being harmed, tortured, or killed. And like that was an early horror play trope. Like it was someone sitting on stage, and off stage you hear what the person's supposed to be listening to. And so I think one of the things about the entrance sequence that always gets me is the mother's reaction on the phone, hearing her daughter gasp and kind of those panicked last.
Oh yeah.
And so in that moment, I wasn't scared. I actually cry a little bit.
I have that down as a note, actually, when Casey is calling out for her mother, but he stabbed her in the throat, so she
the vocal
can't.
box,
Yeah, so she's... I cried my eyes out. And everyone thinks I'm a loser, so I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Oh, no, I cry. It's when she says, Casey, baby. Like, I just... knife to the heart. No,
God,
not my daughter.
Never have children, because someone's going to murder them.
See, my favorite part of the opening scene.
So funny story. If I call Kai and I'm like, I have news, she's like, you're pregnant.
Because what else are you like? What else is there? Oh, I got the newspaper. Duh.
I've always had a million things that I've said that are things other than I'm pregnant.
But one day it will be the answer.
It will be, but then she's not going to guess it that one time.
That one day.
And then I will also say that I love how this film starts off like super intense and legitimately scary, and then melts into something completely different.
Well, it's a story within a story.
Yeah.
We learn more.
Yeah, what do you think? Do you think his original intention was to make a scary movie, or was it to make us like a horror comedy?
So the original, actually, that was one of my facts from earlier that I didn't end up saying. The original writer. The original writer, Kevin Williamson, wrote it after he was watching the news about some murder in Florida. And then his phone kept ringing, and he was already freaked out about watching the news about some murder, and his phone kept ringing, and it kept being missed calls or something. So he woke up in the middle of the night and was like, that was fucking scary. I'm going to write a movie about this. It took him 3 days to write this, and then they pitched it to 5 other directors. You got Sam Raimi, 3 other directors, Sam Raimi, Danny Boyle, and Robert Rodriguez, and all of them wanted to turn it into a comedy. And he was like, no, this is a horror movie. Horror. So then Wes Craven's like, I can do exactly what you want, and that's why yes.
So the film, and I forgot to mention this during the trivia, it was inspired by the Gainesville Ripper.
That's it.
Danny Rolling.
Gainesville.
So what would this have been like if Danny Boyle had directed?
I couldn't tell you a Danny Boyle movie right now. Like, if you told me the movie, yeah, that's great, but I don't know who the fuck Danny Boyle is.
Trainspotting, Sunshine,
Eternal
$1 Million
Sunshine.
Little boy man. What's his name?
It would just be so cerebral. Like, I don't think it would translate.
He did Steve Jobs. The Steve Jobs movie.
Which one? The Ashton Kutcher one? Or
no, the good one.
Oh, I never saw. See, I don't think I've seen a Danny Boyle movie.
Yeah,
did he do Garden State?
No, that was Zach Braff.
Oh, that's why I like it.
Yeah, Zachy Braff.
Yeah, I could not. I mean, I know what movies you're talking about. I've never seen them, but I'm assuming, like Allyson said, it'd be cerebral. It'd be like...
I would love it if, all the major directors, as a rite of passage, would have to do their own version of Scream. Every year, a new version of Scream came out by a different director.
It's so funny that you say that, not because of Wes Craven, but Robert Englund, who played Freddy Krueger, he wants to kind of do a reboot of Freddy Krueger because he mentioned this at one of the conventions we've gone to, where he kind of wants to do something like that, where it's either another director does their own take and different versions of it, or the characters see a different version of Freddy Krueger throughout the movie, because Freddy Krueger has always been in their mind. So each person can see it different, kind of like Pennywise and It, how they all see.
That was my first horror movie, by the way.
However,
I think
it would still need to cast Robert Englund.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would have to be the only consistency.
It could be
How old
him
is he
in
now?
different outfits.
So, while I'm looking up his age, I will say that it was sad, but it was a beautiful tribute at he's 73, at one of the movie conventions we were at, we were listening to him. It was just after had passed, and he's like, I'm stuck at the angry stage of grief, the stage of anger, because I want to be in more Wes Craven movies. I want to have my friend back, and I'm angry that I won't have that opportunity.
Yeah.
And it was just one
so
of the
sad.
most beautiful but horrible things to hear someone kind of have that emotional breakdown of losing their friend.
Yeah.
He did, like, Wes Craven was a legend. Like, he did so much for not just the horror genre, but movies in general. And it's tough when you lose somebody. It's like losing Stan Lee. It's just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So we segued off of your timestamp.
Well, no, you were setting it up before we were going.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Do you have more?
Oh, I'll think of something just as soon as you hit play.
Play.
and oh,
All right, we're starting.
there's some murders happening.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes?
Who is this?
Who are you trying to reach?
What number is this?
What number are you trying to reach?
I don't know.
Well, I think you have to...
Okay, immediately. Just stop entertaining this fella. Hang up immediately.
Yeah.
Can we also say that hair color and sweater are doing nothing for her complexion?
Oh, yeah. And with the dark lipstick,
She just looks
like it.
washed out.
I like it.
it's a look. But it's the 90s. I'm assuming this
Yeah.
is what everybody looked like, right?
Not everyone is washed out in the 90s.
Everyone was washed out.
I'm washed out in my 90s.
When did people have acid wash jeans? Was that the 90s?
That's like
or the
80s, yeah.
Okay, well, good. Didn't belong anywhere in the 90s.
They don't belong anywhere.
Take it easy.
All right, so she hangs up. She takes 2 steps. Bang.
That was like 5 steps.
Well, before the first ring, it was 2 steps.
Hello?
I'm sorry. I guess I dialed the wrong number.
So why'd you dial it again?
Also,
To apologize.
To apologize.
the black handle of the phone and the white cord, like I feel like most of the phones that I had that were landline phones,
They
the
matched?
cord matched the handle.
Yeah.
Bye now.
Wait, don't hang up.
Wait, don't hang up. No, I'm going to. Bye.
Bye.
I want to talk to you for a second.
Talk to you for a
They've
second.
got 900 numbers for that. See ya.
I mean, she even plays into the idea, like, okay, you're being weird.
But like, I feel like this was normal back then because you didn't have like you couldn't see who was calling, so you're just like, oh, it's just like Billy down the road, like fucking with me, and it's like really Billy down the road, who's about to fuck with you.
Well, that's what what's her face, Cindy Crawford thought later in the movie, but
Cindy Crawford.
but
Oh, you're never going to live it down.
but
Sydney, like Australia.
like Australia.
Australia.
Okay, so but
Worried about things down under.
but young Drew Barrymore was just like, oh yeah, this weird dude that's calling me and won't hang up and like is
Yeah,
getting
like
all
I'm sure
freaky
she
and weird.
thought it was her friends. And I mean, it was. She was not wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also, who does stovetop Jiffy Pop anymore?
Yeah, this was weird. Watching this for the first time as like a 10-year-old in 2000 whatever, like I was like, what the fuck is she doing? Like that's gonna catch on fire.
She's too poor to have a microwave.
It's also on have you seen their house? Their house is
Can you
bigger than
put
my
They
that in a
spent
microwave?
all of their money on the house, and they had no more
They
left
can't
over
afford
for.
food other than Jiffy Pop popcorn.
But I feel like even like if you got loose kernel popcorn to do on the stovetop, it would be cheaper than the camping Jiffy Pop, which is what that is.
You hear that, Wes Craven? Allison's very upset with your poor choices of loose kernel popcorn.
Should we blame Wes Craven, or is it like the set
Prop
designer,
master.
prop
This is-
master,
this
or
is
something
prop
like
master.
that?
I mean, prop master who forgot to turn off the phone obviously was distracted.
But like everyone knows the sound of popping corn, and then Ghostface is like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm popping popcorn." Like that. Well, that set the tone.
She could have had one of those, you know, the toddler toys that look like a ball with the popping.
yeah.
It
The
could
push
have been
pop. The push
yeah,
pop.
The push pop. It could have been a push pop.
It could have been a push pop.
It
She
could have been a
could-
push
she just
pop.
could be
That's
really-
my baby.
She could have been really entertained by simple toys. Pop, 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 pop.
Continuing.
We were only 2 minutes in.
Have you listened to this podcast before?
Hello?
Why don't you want to talk to me?
Why don't you want to talk to me?
This?
Tell me your name, I'll tell you mine.
Oh, I'm not weird.
I don't think so.
It's also weird that she has the salt shaker like that.
Boys,
popcorn.
Like, that looks like a very movie theater kind of salt shaker.
Her like grill setup
I'm
is like
getting ready to watch the
fancy,
video.
and I want that.
She's
It's
bougie.
pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
just some scary movie.
Like she's indulging him in conversation now.
You know, a lot of women feel alarmed to be considered impolite. Like, because there's a very real chance of hostility back towards us.
Yeah, and that's what happens here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't know what you guys would think if someone called you, started talking like that. That already feels
I
hostile to
don't
me.
know.
would be
pick up
blocked.
numbers
But
that I
that's
don't
like,
know.
But that's like a thing. Like, and like that's what I was gonna say earlier. Like, if this were to be remade, like, how do you make a movie where kids have caller ID now and you can block phone numbers like that and are easily unreachable?
Right.
Well, they touched on that a little bit in the fourth one.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that's true.
The equivalent in modern era would be a number calling and then you don't recognize.
Yeah.
And then it calls multiple times and you just be
And
like,
that still causes me anxiety.
yeah, but I mean, I feel like if someone's talking to me that way, I'd be like, that already feels hostile.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, all right, you're going to stop calling me now or I'm calling the
Well,
cops.
that's because you're a man.
Yeah.
Is it
You
though?
can say that. Like,
Yeah.
Why
it's-
couldn't anyone say that?
It's there is a very real thing that women deal with where they're a fear of retaliation.
yeah, you've never
Whoa,
had
whoa,
to
whoa.
deal with the weight of the patriarchy on your chest every day.
No,
so-
men are victims of the patriarchy too. That's the myth. What
is happening?
I brought you here to my alt-right meeting so that I could tell you all.
All right, Alex Jones, I'm going to need you to chill out.
So, can I tell you a bit about gay frogs?
Okay, that's a very real problem.
That is a legal Pepe. That is a rare Pepe.
No, but fearing for your life or fearing for retaliation is a thing that men feel too. I mean, that if someone's like threatening me over the phone or I feel threatened by something, I would be freaked out.
I'm going to call Zach at 3 a.m. tonight and say some threatening shit and see what happens.
If I hear something in my house at
Then
like
I'll know it's
3 in
you.
the morning, yeah, that's
Someone else's
Watch it
phone.
not be me. Watch me
Call
be
from
asleep
Mom and
when it
Dad's phone.
happens.
Yeah.
the cops are not going to be. This is damning evidence. You've been recorded saying it, so you're going to be the red herring in this movie.
So,
But no, if I hear a noise at 3 in the morning, I'm grabbing a knife because I'm scared and I'm going to hurt somebody. Speaking of,
we are 1 minute into the film.
Halloween. You know, the one with the guy in the white mask who walks around and stalks babysitters? What's yours?
yeah,
I feel like that popcorn is already burning.
Yeah,
Right here on
that
Elm
rose too fast.
okay. So, but I hate to keep harping on this point, but if you felt like you were pressured to not disappoint the person on the phone, he's acting weird. You register it as him acting weird, but you don't want to be mean to him.
I really think she thinks it's her boyfriend, Steve,
Or
or like
someone,
it's somebody she
yeah.
knows because
Okay.
nobody just randomly calls people and talks to that. So
I was more talking about not wanting to upset it, mostly in in-person interactions, not over the phone.
Okay, but stuff like this.
Yeah.
See, I didn't read it as she thought it was someone she knew. I thought she was just humoring the person because she didn't clock it as weird.
Wasn't this how you like date in the 90s too? Don't you just like call random phone numbers? Like, isn't that Tinder back in the 90s? Like, I don't know you, but
Maybe.
here's a random phone number. Let's go bowling. Isn't that like bowling is a
Go
90s
bowling.
thing?
So I was
That roller skating.
I was 11 years old at the time, so not dating yet. But if someone randomly called the house and started being weird like that, I wouldn't have thought it was a come on.
Well, I mean, you were 11. Well, I don't know. I mean, like, this is how I imagine people meet strangers back then.
Before Tinder.
Right. Like, this is
That's
pre-Tinder.
That would be a way, yeah.
Didn't
It
they
would
have,
be a way.
There was a phone service like that where it's like, here's a random number.
one
and
of
we'll
the party
pair you-
lines?
Yeah, we'll pair you with another person.
But there are also chat rooms at this time.
Go to AOL.
That's
people.
something I'm going to harp on later when she calls 911 from her computer because
Yeah.
that's fucking weird.
That is weird.
Had knives for fingers.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger.
Freddy, that's right.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
liked that movie. It was scary.
Well, the first one was, but the rest sucked.
That's
So,
not.
you got a boyfriend?
Why? You want to ask me out on a date?
Maybe. Do you have a boyfriend?
No.
You never
What
told
movie
me
was that
your
from?
name.
Speaking of, I needed to remind you that Zach slandered Beyonce.
I did. I don't want you to leave in a huff yet.
Oh, I am upset.
I told him wait until Kaya gets here.
Well, but your lover in the nighttime was also doing it. So he has to. The punishment must be distributed equally.
We will talk about this later.
Uh-oh. I feel like a disappointed daddy.
We will talk about this later.
Why do you want to know my name?
Why do you
Know
want?
who I'm looking at.
See, that's weird. That's fucking weird. I want to know who I'm looking at. That's when you hang up.
I want to know who I'm talking to.
That's not what you said.
I technically would have hung up a long time ago, but I'm
See?
faithful to my boyfriend.
No, but okay. So,
Husband?
husband, man, do you forget that you're married?
Sometimes it's not easy to remember or switch the.
You don't have a
Ain't
ring.
easy being cheesy.
Oh, I took it off last night.
So, is there problems?
No, it was more because I don't like sleeping with it because like I always like cut my face
Oh,
Her diamond is so big that she snags it on clothes.
yeah.
and my face.
I have that problem all the
it's
time.
more so my face. I have enough problems with my face. I don't need it cut up.
Okay, but so you say you would have hung up a while ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there you go. I thought you were saying that you wouldn't. You wanted to humor him because as a woman you were scared
that
of
was me.
disappointing. Oh, I thought you both agreed on that.
Oh, I could see reasons why someone wouldn't. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, but do you also see where I'm coming from? Like,
Yeah.
she's humoring him way too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's too accommodating.
Yeah.
Look, I gotta go.
Wait, I thought we were going to go out.
Nah, I don't think so.
Don't hang up on me.
Don't you hang up on me.
And then she answers it again like a complete buffoon.
Just take your popcorns. You know how bad burnt popcorn smells.
Yes?
I told you not to hang up on me.
My
What do you
boyfriend's
want?
coming.
He's big and
So I, for the longest time, thought that was Paul Walker because he looks very like Paul Walker.
Oh, I never noticed her boy. Like, I never cared to look at him because he was dead.
Very quickly.
Very, like, very dead.
No, you listen, you little bitch.
Oh.
You hang up
Whoa.
on me again, I'll gut you like a fish, understand?
Take
you
the
like a
popcorn off the thing. Just
Not only are you about to get murdered, you are about to set a fire.
well, then it smelled. Burnt popcorn smells as bad as burnt hair.
So it is being gut like a fish.
It
Fair
smells
enough.
bad. What are your
It's gotta,
insights?
yeah.
Assuming it's not
The bowel's got to be cut.
Oh, what is that perfume? It's ode to fish guts.
You're a big fish.
Well, but also, I have to, just as a popcorn lover, that's a waste of popcorn.
Oh, I forgot. We didn't touch on that. Zach has a popcorn addiction.
I do.
This is a very upsetting scene for him.
He says it doesn't fill him up. That it's like eating salted butter air and.
No, yeah, it's actually not physical matter. Popcorn, like
It's
you can eat
antimatter?
yeah, you can eat. No, it doesn't remove stuff from your stomach, but it doesn't add anything.
But it coats on like layers of butter on your liver and your kidneys
Arteries.
And your
It's in your heart and stuff
and,
like that.
You can't feel it. Like you could scrape off your arteries.
Sorry.
Oh, I know. I'm
Speaking
gonna
of
die
scraping,
young. I'm definitely gonna die
Zach
young.
has this thing where he likes to scrape the inside of the bag. Like
I
it's a
do that.
I was gonna
though,
say,
too.
Kaya
Because
does
the salt,
that.
you need the salt.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
you don't need the.
You
You
definitely-
want
salt.
You definitely need the salt.
Okay, you're not ponies. You don't need a salt lick.
I don't want to talk about my history with salt licks, but
I don't want to talk about my history with ponies.
I'm very disturbed and would like permission to leave the table or just get more invested in the movie where I forget my serious troubles.
Okay.
Out in the middle of nowhere
What do you want?
to see what your insides look like.
Oh boy. So what was she watching on TV over there? Because it's just blue.
She has it on the VCR input.
because she was gonna put a scary
Channel
movie
3.
in.
Did we see her do that and then fail to?
Well, she had a stack of VCR. VCRs.
So I genuinely, I thought that was good acting. Like her getting like immediately freaked out like that. That was good.
I wonder if that's when the police were calling back.
Death wish. Might as well just come out here to investigate a strange noise or something.
Demi. I like that she's even being criticized by the murderer now.
You better.
This is what I'm
Well,
saying, man.
so-
the patriarchy.
If you remember, we find out later that she broke up with Matthew Lillard's character. So
Stu.
there is a little bit of vendetta.
Yeah, she
here.
dumped Stu for Steve.
Steve. I'm sorry, can we also talk about how much I hate all the male names in this movie?
Billy. Billy.
Okay, can you imagine, like, in the throes of passion, crying out Stu
Oh,
or Billy?
Ooh, it sounds like I'm saying
Bill,
boo,
like,
but I'm not. I'm saying your name.
Whenever I
Stu.
hear the name Bill, I
Billy.
think True Blood, or if Stookie said, "Oh, Bill, Bill, I'm Bill."
So I think of Cable Guy where he's, oh, Billy.
I love Cable Guy.
Cable Guy.
Cable glue gla.
What are you talking about? Like Larry the Cable Guy?
What?
No, there's
Oh,
a
stop
Jim-
this immediately. You haven't seen Cable Guy with Jim Carrey, Matthew Broderick?
No.
Oh, my.
It's not a great movie.
What did?
But Zach just leapt out of his seat.
I kind of felt like, you know, how Spider-Man has the spider sense where you feel like, oh, there's probably a fist coming at my head. I kind of felt that.
You did.
I had to nearly restrain myself. And I'm not promising it's not coming. So after the podcast, in fact, we can stop the podcast now and watch. Do you want to?
I'm going to come home and Mark's going to be like, what happened? Zach had to tell me twice.
Oh, God.
No, just,
Hopefully not.
it's universally not a very celebrated movie except by Zach. I said except by Zach.
Isn't Zach's like favorite movie during the holidays is watching Home Alone 800 times?
No, the Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Oh.
Santa Claus. I can quote that movie
just
back
got
to front.
Infinitely worse.
How come
What?
everything I want to do is stupid?
I didn't say that. Dope. Never know where it's been. Probably 1,000 malls.
We're
Well,
talking
I
about
hope
the
you're
Santa
happy,
Claus.
Comet. I hope you're happy. But most of all, I hope the guy that lives here is a tailor.
Don't worry, he gets fat in,
so
like,
upset
2
right
extra
now.
scenes.
That was a lot you just did there.
I can keep going.
Oh yeah, he can do the whole movie from start to finish.
Yes.
Like, that wasn't just Zach talking. That was Zach mimicking with hands and gestures and
He was
acting.
putting on the overalls.
Zach is a thespian.
He was possessed by the spirit of Tim Allen, who is
often
still
am.
alive.
I often am.
That was pre-cocaine bust Tim. No, it's post-cocaine bust Tim Allen. Actually.
Was it?
Oh, he got busted at the airport for having like a crap ton of cocaine on
I
him.
didn't know that. That's great.
Now, was
That
it in an
enhances his
orifice
image.
or did he just have it on his
He
person?
was just in his suitcase. I think because he thought he was Tim Allen. I don't know if he was famous at this
I think
point.
whenever he coughed, it just came out.
It's sweet and low. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's just sweet and low.
You want to try some? It's good in your coffee.
We're terrible people.
We are only 5 minutes into the movie.
Okay, I'm hitting play so we can watch Drew Barrymore die.
Do it.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Oh, and again, I think he looks like Paul Walker.
I don't think I think he was too young at this point.
Well, so he looks like Paul Walker, and it isn't. I looked it up, but it looks like Paul Walker when he did the role in Pleasantville.
See, I've never seen Pleasantville, but
I
I do know that he was in it.
Oh, I have seen that. That was a good movie.
Yeah, with Tobey Maguire and Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon.
Seeing Reese
Who was
Witherspoon
also
as a-
supposed to be Sydney originally.
They were tapping Melissa Joan Hart.
And
Oh, also
Tori
Molly Ringwald.
Spelling.
Molly Ringwald was supposed to be on it, but she turned it down because she didn't think it was right for her to play a high school student in her 27th year on this planet.
She was only 27, I think. I guess that checks.
Yep. Sorry, let's continue with this movie.
Here's how we
We've waited so long for the
I
deaths.
ask a question.
Long.
If you get it right, Steve lives.
They know you're there.
This infuriates me.
Which part?
The second question.
That she got it wrong.
Yes.
Have you ever been in a
Oh,
high
yeah.
stress situation?
Yes, but I still fucking know it wasn't Jason Voorhees was his fucking mother.
So do I. I'm not the most like horror savvy person, but I know that.
Always the fucking mother.
Always.
Always.
And if it isn't, it's always their fault.
That's what my therapist says.
Michael.
Yes. Very good.
I've seen it 20 times. I know. Bitch.
You're doing so well.
You're doing so well.
Stop.
But you aren't, though. You're doing about 50-50.
Name the killer in Friday the 13th.
Jason!
What a dumb.
Sorry. That's
Bitch.
the wrong answer.
No, it's
just-
not. I've seen it 20 times.
It was
I'm just going to throw this back in your face. Cindy Prescott.
Okay. That was a high stress situation. That was being the love of my life. He doesn't know we're going to be married. So, like,
Though I do challenge you. He says, no, that's not the right answer. And then she doubles down. She's like, yes, I've seen it a million
right, I
times.
didn't double down. I just
Yeah.
hid in a bathroom and cried for 10 minutes.
That's the honorable thing to do.
It was Jason. I saw that movie 20 goddamn times.
Oh, not just 20 times. 20 goddamn times.
Goddamn.
Goddamn.
Killer.
I said, God damn.
Sequel. I'm afraid that was a wrong
The face she's making. I'm a dumb bitch.
There's a bonus round. But poor
She's a
Steve,
stupid
I'm
bitch.
afraid he's out.
Uh-oh.
Poor Steve.
Oh, little Steve, he's
Little Stevie Letterman.
got gutted.
Like a fish.
We're not finished yet.
I'm going to ask you an unfair
Final
question.
Are you ready?
Please leave me alone.
Answer the question and I will. What door am I at?
What a rude question.
That's just dumb. Yeah.
No one would know.
She should have said that, though. I would have said that. Like, how could I possibly know?
I would argue that point.
Yeah.
I would argue that is an unreasonable question.
Yeah, you may be a murderer,
Objection.
Your call.
but you got to play it fair here. All right, house is smoky.
Yeah, it's that damn Jiffy Pop.
Waste of popcorn.
It's on fire. It's the new fire
At this
flavor.
point, that popcorn is
new
not,
fire flavor.
not savable.
Fire Festival popcorn.
I would buy it. Ooh, spicy popcorn. Why don't they sell that?
You made
Just
it
put
yourself.
your own hot sauce on it.
I know I do.
Speaking of his own hot sauce, don't allow him to make you sniff it because
What, you don't have to
I
sniff it.
don't
you just
normally
eat-
let men make me sniff things in general.
I made homemade hot sauce from my dad's garden. He made habaneros and cayenne peppers, and
Okay.
I made my own hot sauce.
And what's wrong with sniffing it?
Well, she's spicy.
It made
She-
my eyes water.
it
and
bowled
like
her over.
I was coughing a lot.
I would like to try that.
Yeah, it's great. Awesome. So she's game.
I'm also Middle Eastern, so like I like the spicy.
Sweet. So why does she not start running now? She's outside of the house.
Well, she sees her parents driving up, so maybe she thinks if she stays there, like he won't.
Well, but he might jump out of the back to try to avoid them. Like, why
But
doesn't she
she's
run
still
toward the
safe
car?
at that point? I mean,
Run toward the car. Do something, man. Like, just be away from the house.
yeah, I wouldn't have looked back up.
I
would've
always
just-
like anytime you see a movie like this, you're like, I would do this differently, and then I think about it, and I'm like, I don't think I would. I think that I would end up doing the same dumb bitch shit she does because it's like, what do you do? Like fight or flight? Like,
Well, I can tell you that I've come into a situation with a farmer and his wife. No, just kidding. No, but I was my friend of mine. We used to like going off into this farmer's land, and he had like these furniture, like this burnt out furniture that he like discarded on his land, and we would set it up and like set fire not to the furniture, but just in a little pit.
on his property.
Yeah, just hang out and stuff like that. So it was totally our fault. But
You're
one
an
day,
asshole.
one day he came out and we heard a gunshot and he was like chasing after us, like running at us. So we ran. And like, I'm pretty sure I heard another gunshot. I can't really remember.
And Zach never saw his friend again.
yeah, really. I
But-
really miss him.
But we had to like run away and stuff like that. So like, I feel
You
like
went into the farmer maggot's crops.
I did. It was the farthest away from home I've ever been.
God.
We're a bunch of nerds. Hi.
But anyway, no, I feel like when you're presented in a situation like this, your body will make you go.
That's true.
You
and
know.
like you go fast.
Yeah, like, and you'll discard, like if you fall and
Like
like hurt your
Forrest
knee or
Gump
something like that,
fast.
you're gonna get right back up and keep going. All right, so Screamy Man is
Like, look at Wes Craven run though. Right in the tit.
Aw. So apparently his robe was supposed to be white, but Wes Craven was afraid that it might be associated with the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah, that
stuff,
would have been bad.
So they changed it.
This is where it gets like really sad. Her parents are right there.
I do love that every step of the process, like the dad's like pointing at something on the other side. Like, look over there. Look at the
Don't
grass.
look at our daughter being murdered right over there.
Grass needs to be mowed a
Like,
little
would
bit
you
more over
really
there.
not hear any of the panting or
The scrabbling around and
Right.
stuff like that.
or just like you can hear people running in grass? Like,
Yeah. And I don't know exactly what I guess they're in the same line of sight. So would you see the big guy in a cloak with a knife
like
and a
murdering
mask?
your child?
You would hope.
Yeah. I know, but look over there.
Yeah. Ugh.
I would have thrown something. I feel like. Well, again, like you said, who knows what we
Yeah.
would do? But I feel like I would have tried to throw something to make a noise.
Yeah.
See, this is great though. She pulls off his mask and is successful. And the way she looks at him, she's not shocked. Like you'd think she'd be like, "Oh, I'm surprised." There's no surprise on her face. So like, dude's fucking crazy, and she knew it.
Yeah.
Now, who was it? Is what I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was Stu. Because I don't think it was always the two of them together.
Well, something I brought up to Chris last night when we were watching is when Billy's going through Sydney's window, is he doing that to distract her while Stu like kidnaps her father? Because like we see her dad come in and say goodnight, but like we don't see him again after that. And he's wearing the same outfit when he like comes out of the closet.
So I have a maybe a logical reason why I think it was Billy in the costume. Because he had the cell phone. Mm-hmm. Oh well,
I'm talking the first scene, like when like he's like, "Oh, like we went PG-13. Man,
Oh, that
why
one,
are
okay.
you sex with me? I hate my life." Like when he comes into her window, like it seems romantic, like, "Oh, lovey-dovey 90s Dawson's Creek."
Yeah.
But in reality, like is Stu in the background, like gagging and bounding up her father?
Yeah, I mean they
guess so.
did talk about how her father's leaving the next morning for the trip.
But he's wearing the same outfit.
Interesting.
He could just be lazy.
Yeah, he's wearing jeans.
Dirty boy wearing
actually,
this.
Zach sleeps in his jeans when he forgets to wear it.
Of which
true.
he also owns one pair of jeans. So
I do only wear one
Anytime
pair of
Zach
jeans.
goes on an overnight trip, he always seems to forget to pack pajamas and sleeps in his jeans.
That's true, but I actually have a surprisingly large assortment of lounge pants.
And you never pack them.
I don't. I never wear them here either.
Lounge pants.
No, I
They're
don't even wear them
they're
here.
Not for anyone else.
Yeah, they're just closet pants.
They're just closet
They're
pants.
collector's items.
Clozapam, I think, is a real drug. So.
It is. Or is it Klonopin?
Clonopin and
I don't
Alprazim.
What is this like pharmaceutical hour? Let's get back to this death scene here.
Drive down to the mechanic.
The scene is sad enough, Zach. Thank you.
Sorry.
Call the police.
She has a really good scream, though, the mom.
I love that someone's being moited around here, and the dad's just like, "Hey, go out into the night alone, please. Thank
Yeah, like
you."
go to the neighbor's house. Like, what are the neighbors are gonna fucking do? Sit there and watch you cry?
Call
Yeah.
911.
Right, she's got the phone in her hand.
Well, remember, it connected to Casey.
Right, I forgot. So she should go find her kid, hang up the phone, and then call.
Hang on. Stop being murdered.
Yeah, I need
Let
you
me
to
call 911.
just. I'm gonna need you to stop for a minute.
All right, that's a world beater.
You know what I don't have for this episode? A squeaky door rating. There's no good squeaky doors in this movie.
What about when the Fonz opens his closet?
There wasn't a really good squeaky door then. The Fonz is Harry Winkler's the...
Henry, yeah.
Henry. Yep,
Or
Henry.
there's when her dad opens the door and the other door stuck. That kind of had a little squeak.
Yeah.
No, but we mean like good horror movie creaky
like
door.
There have been a couple
That is
movies
an
in a row.
awesome freeze frame, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there have been a couple movies in a row where there's been a good like.
It sounded like a goat dying.
That's
Have
what I
you
was
been
trying
murdering a
to. Yeah,
lot
we've
of
seen
things?
a few goats die. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. I understand now.
Yeah, but none in this movie.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right, so that's all I wanted to see. The whole first scene.
Oh, okay. Actually, listen to the music now.
Well, 2 years ago, we started off hot and heavy.
Is this like Riverdale music or something?
No, it's a slow version of Don't Fear the Reaper.
Oh, okay.
And he's the Reaper.
He sure is.
You get it? Because he kills people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I get it.
And we've come full circle because it's Blue Oyster Cult. And we talked about oyster.
We sure did.
And oysters as pasties, and she shows boobies.
have a little rough footage.
I hate the way she talks in this fucking movie.
So let's also talk about her scrunchie and hideous nightgown.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like, I don't care what decade you're in. No 16-year-old wears a nightgown.
Not like that.
No.
I used to. When I was a 16-year-old girl.
Were you waiting to be like taken on a quest with 3 ghosts representing the past, the present, and the future?
Yeah, I would tremble
more
off to bed and
Norma
wait
bait.
to be scared awake and then taken on a journey to change my life.
Just change who you are.
Have you been successful?
Not so far.
It's because you stopped sleeping in nightgowns.
Yeah, I know. I stopped when I was about 17 and then I just never
He
took
gave
that.
up and stopped going to the Polar Express.
Oh, Christmas.
I stopped hearing the bell jingle.
He had this sad face.
But yeah,
Saddest face.
the nightgown, not a good look. Nothing sexy about it. Not, like, I know she's not trying to be sexy. That's the whole point of the movie. But at the same time,
Frigid.
it's like, nightgown.
I know, it's terrible.
Like, there's other ways of making a character look innocent without a nightgown.
At least, yeah. Like that.
So this is totally not part of this movie, irrelevant at all. But when did you stop believing in Santa Claus?
When I was 3 and my dad, maybe I was 4, and my dad had custody of me that year, and I put cookies out for Santa. I wake up the next morning and there's nothing there, and my dad, I was like, Dad, he didn't come. He's like, we're fucking Jewish.
Oh my god.
It's like, so he doesn't come for Jews, and my dad's like, he's not real.
Oh, double whammy.
But what was so great about that
That's so
is my
sad.
of course I was traumatized, and my stepmom came, like, she wasn't living with us at the time. They were still dating. No, they were married. But whole other story. But she came to the house and like saw how mortified I was, and she like, obviously Toys R Us wasn't open that day, but I think that week she like took me to Toys R Us and bought me everything I wanted because she felt so bad that my dad had destroyed the magic of
So did you guys have like a Christmas tree up? Did you
No,
think that it was
we had
going to be?
nothing. I just thought that if you put cookies out for this dude, he'd come into my house.
Maybe
give
Santa
you
would come and
presents. Right.
like set up a Christmas tree
But
for you.
like,
and-
I also didn't correlate that it was like a
Christian
religious
thing.
thing. I just thought it was like something the
It
whole
isn't.
world did. So
Yeah.
I was like so shocked that when he was like, "We're Jewish." Like, what does
What
that have to do with it? I want fucking presents, man.
Yeah. Well, did he give you Hanukkah presents?
He probably did. That's the only memory I have of like my child.
The trauma, not the nice things.
I mean, I'm sure he did, but I'm just like greedy, so I want more.
But I want it now.
Yes, Daddy.
Veruca.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Allison? Do you still believe?
I believe that I will give my child, when I have one, the feeling of Christmas and let them enjoy Santa Claus.
When did you stop believing?
Yeah, that was.
That was a question.
I think I was probably around.
Yeah, are you a politician? Are you trying to like avoid questions?
Okay, but I stopped believing probably around 10.
I think I stopped.
Still believes.
Yeah, I think I stopped around 4 or 5.
Yeah,
You're a very pragmatic person.
Well, it was spoiled for me. I wanted to believe in the big fat fella, but my god sisters were mean, and they were like, I said
You
something.
were Cinderella. Who knew?
Yeah, I had 2 older god sisters, Brittany and Katie, and they
Bitchy names.
well,
hey, my sister.
That just got really awkward really quickly for other reasons.
So, anyway, so yeah, I was like 5 or something like that, and they were older than me, and I said something about Santa, and they were like, "You still believe in Santa?"
You were 4 or 5. Of course you did.
And I was like, "Well, what do you mean? I believe in him. He's real, of course."
He's fucking been here.
Yeah, I've gotten his presents before. I've seen his signature. Of course, he's real. What are you talking about?
I left a carrot out for the deer, and I left the cookies out for Santa.
So
What?
anyway, they disabused me of that notion, and
Disabused.
yeah, I believed in the Santa, and they took that away from me, and I've never forgiven them.
Is disabused a word? Like, I'm annoyed.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Well, not annoyed, but I'm confused.
Yeah, you've been disabused of your ignorance of not knowing the word disabused.
I like this.
Yeah.
It's one of those fancy lawyer words you should learn.
I feel like I've seen it on your Thinky Words app, so like,
I don't know.
But
It's been so long
maybe.
since I've messed around with that app, so I really don't know.
download Thinky Words.
Yeah. Oh, plug. I haven't plugged my app yet. Download Thinky Words on the Apple App Store today.
I used to really enjoy going into
planned.
the Tolkien words.
This is the only reason I did this podcast, just to plug my app. I've forgotten until
I
now.
don't have an
Download
app,
it.
so I'm here for the movies.
Oh, sorry. Should we watch that then?
We're at the part where they're like about to do some weird like teenage makeout stuff.
Disgusting.
I think her father's about to show up.
All right, so listen to his little spiel here. This is why I did the timestamp.
Yeah. It was edited for TV, you know, all the good stuff was cut out, and it got me thinking of us. 2 years ago, we started off hot and
I
heavy.
feel like he does look like
Nice
his
solid
shirt looks
R
like it's
rating
too
on our
big
way
for
to
him.
NC-17.
That was the 90s.
Now,
I wear short sleeve shirts,
have
so for my
changed.
long sleeve shirts.
lately, we're just sort of edited for television.
So this guy's lame.
Climb my window and have a little
That's
rock.
Billy is lame.
Yeah.
Lame too.
Oh yeah,
Like
Yeah.
she's a virgin. Hello.
But like he says they go hot and heavy, so that makes me think they fucked at least once.
No, I think it's over the
No.
close action.
Yeah, which they
It's not
reference
hot and heavy.
It is for them for the
for
90s.
Children.
For-
Children.
for teenagers. Over the close stuff is pretty heavy.
Even for adults.
I'm a slut. No, I'm kidding. Cut that part out.
Can't.
Yeah, I was like, there's no on or off the record here. This is just recording.
Okay, that's it. I just wanted to say he's super lame. and
Yeah,
cheesy.
she's lame too.
Sure.
But I mean, like, she's just Sydney.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like she's more innocent than lame.
Oh, yes. I don't have the timestamp, so we'll just do a brief run over. When he's going out the window and she's like, will you settle for this? And then shows him her
The
boobs.
PG-13 boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there boobs in PG-13 movies?
No! Well, I mean, like, this would be PG-13 because we're not seeing it, but they are.
I was
Yeah.
like, in Barbarella there was. Oh, and then he calls her a tease.
Yeah,
Oh, it
which
must
is
have already
rude.
About the
Yeah.
sex stuff. I'm not trying to rush you at all.
Also, I like how she keeps saying, yeah, I'm sorry that my PTSD is preventing us from copulating.
Yeah, he's a terrible boyfriend of 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry your mom got raped and murdered, but I'd really like to have sex.
It's been a year. I mean, you can
Sydney.
get over it.
God.
Oh.
I mean, like when my mom left.
It's not the same, Billy.
Here goes. There's the flash. He enjoyed it.
I was
He
expecting more.
laughed at her. I can't be that enjoyable.
You know, part of me wonders, did she like put like googly eyes on her nipples?
That would be such a funny thing for actors to do.
I do wonder she did. I'm sure she's got like a bra or something underneath there, and
Pasties or
like,
something.
But like for him to laugh, like,
I wonder if there
sad.
was googly eyes. Like,
yeah,
I
or
think that would be
tassels.
such a great thing for
like the
right.
for female actors to do, to just like joke around on set or something like that. Would be so good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask her next time we see Nev Campbell to convention. Be like, what was on your boobs in that one scene? I'm at 2014 when Stu talks about the murders and he like gives detail that nobody would have known except for the murderer.
All right.
Ask me if I like that.
It's because there's no way a girl could have killed him.
That is so sexist. The killer could easily be female. Basically.
So
That's
actually,
true, but
that was-
statistically, it's always a man.
I changed my what I said earlier about who killed Drew Barrymore because specifically Rose McGowan's character says he was with her all night.
Right.
So and it would have been too obvious.
Yeah.
To cops.
So it was definitely Billy.
Had to have been Beely.
Had to have been
Billy.
It's an ice pick. Not exactly the same thing. Yeah, Casey and Steve were completely hollowed out.
Who would
The fact
know
is,
that?
It takes a man to do
And why does he seem so like he seems like he's fetishistic about it?
Well, he says it takes a man to do something like that, and the whole point of this movie is that they're men and they deserve to have sex with these women, teenagers. So it's like that's a little telling. Like I think you killed her.
Well,
or
so
had his hand in it.
what was their eventual motive? Like Billy's was because his mom left his dad, or vice versa. I can't remember.
Well, Stu's like peer pressure.
And
Oh,
and he says peer
I'm
pressure.
far too sensitive. But it's like they were talking about how like nobody would have sex with them, pretty much, right? Like
Yeah,
Billy kept pressuring Sydney.
Well, who was the dweeby dude?
Randy,
The guy that's like really into horror movies.
yeah. Randy.
Jamie
He seemed a bit like an incel.
I don't know what his but he didn't like say anything creepy. He just expressed his love for Sydney, kind of.
And Jamie Lee Curtis's boobs.
Oh, but I mean, everybody expresses. That's not a new thing.
No.
But yeah, I think all the men in this movie, because if you look at Harry Winkler's the Fonz, like he's even creepy with him. Like all the men in this movie, like Sydney kisses her dad on the cheek and he's like weird about. Like they're all fucking weird.
Yeah, the scene where Henry Winkler like grabs her by the jaw.
Yeah.
I was like, what is? She's not a 4-year-old girl. Like, what are you doing?
But the only one that isn't weird is Dewey. I mean, like he's like meant to be weird, but he's not like creepy weird.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
Like
mentally deficient.
I don't think he's even mentally deficient. I think he's just
simple.
No,
it's a little bit simple.
When she's on the phone,
kind of simple, I guess. But
when she's on the phone, and he comes out with his gun. Like that's gonna be helpful. You kind of wonder.
Speaking of, did you guys watch the South Park pandemic special?
Oh,
I have not.
Yes.
I have not yet. I still have a clip coming up at 21:29.
It's called Tact, you fuck rag.
Tagged you, fuck rag.
Yeah, for like 2 seconds before she dumped you for Steve.
I thought you dumped it for me.
I did. He's full of shit. And are the police aware that you dated the victim? Hey, what are you saying? That I killed her? It would certainly improve your high school Q.
Stu was with me.
What does that mean? High school Q?
I was saying the same thing. Does it mean like your social standard? Like
I would think so,
like
but
your, like your status in
yeah.
high school. I
Allison,
have no idea.
You were clearly the coolest of the three of us.
False.
Well, you were in a sorority.
Yeah, that's not.
I don't care, but it's a direct correlation to your awesome standing in high school.
Nope.
Well,
nope. I was the unpopular kid in a class size of 24.
So people laughed at you openly in the halls?
Yes.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I was bottom rung.
So, do you know what the high school Q is?
So I don't, but I imagine it's social standing.
Interesting.
God, I hated high school.
Also, I
Me
can't
too.
hear what you guys are listening to, so I'm guessing at the things that are being said.
Turns out Allison can't hear the movie and is just reading lips the whole
She's
time.
got a deaf ear.
What? Couldn't hear you. You're sitting on my bad side.
You're on my bad side.
Is that before or after he
Sliced and diced.
Fuck you, nutcase. Where were you last night?
Working. Thank you.
Oh, at the video store? I thought they fired your sorry ass.
Twice.
He's got a very
that's my
Seth Green.
favorite line.
He's got a Seth Green feel
No,
about
he
him.
definitely does.
Thanks, buddy. Besides, it takes a man to do
Man.
something like that. Yo, I'm gonna gut your ass in a second, kid. Tell me something.
Did you really put her liver in the mailbox? Because I heard that they found her liver in the mailbox next to her spleen and her pancreas.
Okay, what is he making fun of there?
I wasn't. I have no idea. I wasn't sure if that was like they actually did that or if that like he's making fun of a movie.
Yeah, is there someone
that,
with
that specific line? I don't.
He sounds like the dude on Polar Express, the nerdy guy that loves trains.
Was there a murder in Polar Express?
It should have been that
A
little
movie that
nerdy
came
kid.
out way after this movie.
No, I know, but he sounds like the nerdy, like blonde kid who loves trains in the Polar Express.
I feel like it's got to be something classic. What's a classic horror movie about pancreas?
Randy, you goon fuck. I'm trying to eat here.
Goon fuck. Randy, you goon fuck.
So, Rose, what's her name? Rose McGowan?
McGowan.
Oh,
So, Rose McGowan said that this was the best filming experience of her career.
oh, that's interesting.
That's not what she told us.
Yeah, well, because Weinstein.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that this was Bob Weinstein.
Well, this was Dimensions, but I don't know if this was a direct Weinstein production, but she pretty much has never had a good time in Hollywood, pretty much. That's what she says.
Well, so what I one of the trivias that I read and I didn't write down was that Bob Weinstein originally had rejected the design for the mask. He didn't like the mask.
Well, it's Harvey Weinstein. That's the bad guy.
I know, but Bob Weinstein was the one that was involved, at least as far as I was reading.
She definitely enjoyed filming with Wes Craven. At least from what we've heard her say at conventions, that she loved Wes Craven, and so that's probably what she's referring to. But
Yeah.
in general, I don't think Rose McGowan ever had a good time in Hollywood.
Oh, that's a shame.
Straight up not having a good time.
Well, how they found Rose McGowan as an actress, it's Harvey Weinstein. He was the executive producer, and Bob Weinstein was co-executive producer.
Okay, so I guess they were both involved, or maybe Harvey just had his name on it and didn't really interact. I don't know,
That's
but
what they usually do.
yeah. But yeah, as far as people not having a good time in Hollywood, we just watched Lost Boys and Corey Feldman and Haim both had a fucking hard time.
Didn't they say Charlie Sheen was the one that did all of that?
Haim.
Well, Feldman accused him of that. I don't think it's ever been proven 100% one. So I'm very hesitant to say that did happen, but there's not enough evidence for us to. I just don't want to get libel or slander charges.
Well, we couldn't because we're saying this is what someone else said.
Yeah, and you can't.
Yeah.
So it's they haven't the whole clip that I wanted to lead up to is just about to.
All right.
It's gonna be a lot of build up.
Just getting mad, right? Better live her alone. Live her alone.
Live her alone.
I was just gonna say that his pun was worse than any of my puns.
When I did see that, I did think of Allyson fondly. That's an Allyson joke.
But would you say that that's worse than anything she's ever done?
It's pretty bad. I mean, that is a stretch pun.
That's a stretch pun, yeah.
Anytime I hear a pun in life in general, I try to think of Allyson as something worse. But I can't think of an Allyson pun that really comes to mind that sticks out to me. That is the
top notch bad,
right? I mean, because none of her puns are bad. They are creative. They are there. They make you see into the eyes of the world.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I feel special.
Well, I don't know if I can reciprocate that.
Without Allison's puns, what do you have in life?
I know they're a little extra.
That's brutal.
They're a little extra salt in your dish.
I didn't mean to attack you. I just meant in general. They add. Take
it as a compliment to me, not an insult to you.
Okay.
No, I think you should take it as an insult.
Well, I'll take it as both, and it hurts.
You're a bad person.
Yeah.
My next is 3029.
The only thing I have in this scene is you just see how fucking gorgeous Sydney's
It's Cindy again.
Sydney's house is, and then I was like, where are they? And they are in wine country, California.
Well, if I have a daughter, I may need to name her Cindy.
Yeah, because I'm not going to call her anything else.
Her name is Tammy.
Tammy Sue. Look at that. She's got a sprawling estate.
Yeah,
a
it's
heck of a thing.
gorgeous.
I wish I had money.
I bet she would have had a car. She wouldn't have to take the bus.
Yeah, especially after her mom died. I'm sure her mom had a car that she could have driven around.
I just meant she would have insisted on her own car.
I bet she does it to normalize herself. She doesn't want everyone else to be intimidated by her vast riches.
Her vast wealth.
But after my mom gets murdered, God forbid that doesn't happen to my mom. I just mean in this, wouldn't you not want to be around people talking about your mom being murdered? Wouldn't you Dad, I need a car because I can't sit on a bus and listen to people talk about.
I need to be able to jet.
And yeah, it would give you a kind of a feeling of control. You can get out of a situation when you want to. You can just drive away. Yeah, I can buy that.
But then I guess we'd have no movie if she hadn't have to wait for Tatum every time she needed a ride somewhere.
That's very true. All right, so the next one that you guys have is... The next one I have is 3025.
Oh, I bet yours and mine are the same because mine's 3029.
All right, so Beely's cell phone just drops out of his pocket.
Oh, Billy.
Oh, Billy. She's like, why would you have a cell phone unless you were trying to kill people? Which I don't know if I buy that leap in logic.
Wait, Sydney, wait.
So I get that she takes it you have a phone, therefore you could have been the one calling. Mm-hmm. But just people have cell phones.
Not as, I guess, common in 96. I mean,
No, that's true. But if he has a cell phone, she would have known that already.
I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 16, 17 after I started driving and by myself. Because it was a safety
16,
thing.
17. Yeah, I think I had my first cell phone, it was a flip phone, I think in middle school.
Yeah. I was, I think, 12, and I had a hot pink Motorola Razr.
Man.
And I thought I was the hottest shit. And a week after I got it, I dropped it on a ceramic tile, floor, and it never lived again.
See, I never had a cool cell phone. I had the basic, Singular or AT&T cell phone, the shiny, or matte silver thing that they would give
and then
you.
You have to pull the thing up to get service.
Oh, yeah.
So, Zach, I don't know if you remember, but when you first met me, I had a crappy old school phone, and you made fun of me for a very long time until I got an iPhone.
I know, you got an iPhone, and then it was like the iPhone 5, I think. And then like several years after that, you still had an iPhone 5, and I started to make fun of you again. Then you finally wound up with your nice iPhone 8 here. Mm-hmm. But that's how many generations went by. How can you live with yourself?
Because I don't need to replace it immediately.
After.
She's too good of a person. I need something new like every 5 minutes. Otherwise, I just fall back into my depression.
I'm not like that with everything, but with technology.
Did I just make it sad?
No.
I like how endearingly you said that too. Did I just make it sad?
Did I do that?
Oh, gee, Willikers, I'm so sorry.
All right, so here we go. Dashing around.
Dashing through the stairs.
Why?
No, that was my clip.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So the dude is standing there with the mask pointed at the door at the end of his arm.
Yeah.
What maniac would do that?
They want you to think that he's the killer.
I get that from a film perspective, but what's their rationale for him, the character,
just
to have done that?
Dumb.
Oh, yeah.
That's super dumb.
Super fucking dumb.
Maybe
That's
he was
really
using
dumb.
it to
It's
knock
like,
on the
"Killer,
door
are
with.
you
Like,
there?"
Why?
I don't know why.
But the fact that he's more scared than Sydney is, so it's great. He like screams.
Yeah, that's also very good. But I can't get over the fact that what is this man?
I think he is just pure gold. I love everything about Dewey. I love Dewey.
I have to say I do too, except for that moment.
Oh, he's just so.
That's
I think
crazy.
that's what introduces you to what bullshit he is. like this. You get the pure essence.
I like him
Dewey
being scared.
in 30 seconds.
I like him being scared. I think that's brilliant. Oh.
Yes.
Look at this. You see this one red light?
Yeah.
This is a new sound thing that I've cooked up just for situations like this.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. I didn't look for any of those basic things because I'm horrible at my job.
It's a clip from Scrubs where this doctor says he's terrible at his job, and I'm going to play that every time he's terrible at his job. And this is the first time because he's freaking out someone who might have just been murdered by pointing the offending mask at the door.
Oh, I found this in your yard, Sydney.
Crazy.
Did you do it?
It's out of control. He needs to go to prison for life.
He's got the gun at her too. like this whole scene is the essence of what's wrong with the police force in this country.
No training
Literally
whatsoever.
no training. He's just waving a gun around.
He's the deputy of this town.
Oh my god!
Crazy.
Oh gosh, I didn't time clip it, but I also love the scene where the sergeant is smoking and he's eating his ice cream in the fashion of the guy smoking, like because the guy's smoking, looking all cool. It's like, and he's eating the ice cream.
Also, I don't know that I time-stamped it, but when they go to the police station and little Cindy Crawford is sitting in the bullpen area,
and they move.
I think that's what they call it, isn't it? What they call it, like the center area with all the desks and stuff. They bring by the person that they're all treating as the person that almost tried to kill her. They just trot him right by her so that he can yell whatever he wants at her.
It's not like she's facing trauma or anything. But also about that scene is you see on Dewey's desk a pair of like plastic handcuffs. And that's like just shows how much of a joke he is to the police forces. He doesn't have real handcuffs. It's plastic.
And I love that Rose McGowan
Yes.
is always dressing him down. Including in the police station.
Officer Doofus.
Like
She's horrible. I have a lot to say about her later.
See, I don't hate her character except for how she treats him.
Like her.
I don't like how she treats him.
I mean, we need her for the movie to set the tone of her being an asshole, but she sucks. She's a terrible friend.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because her friend's mother gets murdered, and she's like, I'm just kidding. She made me a teenager, and then she her friend's like, I need you to come pick me up because I'm scared, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna take forever at cheer practice, and then I'm gonna go to the movie store, and then this happens, and then she's like, her friend gets attacked, and she's like, oh, do you really think Billy did it? He's too perfect. I knew, like, dude.
So do you think Stu may have distracted her knowing that Billy was doing something to stop her from getting to the house on time?
I don't know about maybe, but I just think she's just a bad person. She doesn't understand the veracity of what's going on.
See, but she also defends Sydney. She
definitely defends Sydney, especially against Gail, but at the same time, she's like, she defends Sydney, but she's shitty to Sydney at the same time.
Also, she needs to purchase some sturdier undergarments.
The nipples I'm not so worried about, especially because all of Friends in the 90s was nipples.
Oh, I actually have a really...
Am I missing the nipple conversation?
Yeah, well, I actually have a fun quote from when we watched the trailer. it's a Zach quote. So I'm excited to share that.
What did you say about nipples, Zach? Is it about oysters?
Oh, he was reacting to the garage scene because there's the scene where she comes out into the garage.
Oh, yeah.
And he saw the shirt, and he's like, I said, when she comes into the chilly garage, Zach's first reaction was, holy jeez, look at those.
They were very prominent. All right, so you said Kaya, yours is 33?
Yeah, because the sheriff is like, what are you doing with the cellular telephone, Billy? And I just thought that was funny because
everyone now
cell
has one.
phones weren't a thing. But then we find out Billy's last name is Billy Loomis, which is a nod to Halloween.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that Dr.
Loomis.
Dr. Loomis over there?
Loomis.
Let me ask you this. What are you doing with a cellular telephone?
Yeah, he should have closed the blinds.
Yeah, he's a shitty sheriff.
He is. Yes, he is. But what kind of question is that? What are you doing with a cellular telephone?
Right. Like, that's what I was going to ask you guys. Like, was it abnormal to have a cell phone?
It just wasn't as common as it is now.
No, it's not as common as it is now, but it would be like asking somebody like, I don't know, what's uncommon? Like, why do you have a gaming computer?
So it would
Not everybody has them. Why do you have one? Because I game. I don't know.
It would have made more sense for like Billy at that time to have a pager than a cell phone.
Yeah, those are more common, but I mean, it was not by 96. I feel like a lot of people had cell phones. Not everybody, but a lot of people had.
What could you do? Could you just call people
Just
on
call
them?
people.
You couldn't like send a text message.
I don't think so. I think it was just calling.
Oh, it was the 3-button text where it's like click, click, click.
Oh yeah, didn't that have a name like T9 or something like that?
I don't remember.
I don't know, but it sucked. It was painful.
terrible.
What are you doing with cellular telephones?
Wow.
Also, like, I'm assuming that's Billy's dad. He's looking rough.
Yeah, he looks like the poor man's version of, oh gosh, now I'm going to forget the actor's name. The guy with the really thick eyebrows that was in House
Eugene
on Haunted
Levy.
Hill.
Eugene Levy?
He looks to me like Lisa Rinna's husband, whose name I can't remember.
We're gonna have to hold you, son, till we get those phone records.
Peter Gallagher is who I was thinking.
Oh, yeah, he does have big eyebrows.
The only big eyebrow person I remember is Eugene Levy.
Oh, yeah. Well, his are like two giant caterpillars fighting for attention on his forehead.
That was oddly specific.
I would call it Frida and Wilma.
What's that from?
It's
Princess
for
Diaries.
Thank you.
Oh, never seen it.
You should. It's a classic.
Maybe I will
Add that
one
to
day.
the list.
Mean Girls is the next one. I'm going to have you co-host with us.
Oh, boy, are you in for a ride.
I'm dreading that episode.
You know what? We missed it yesterday.
It was
But
October 3rd.
Yeah, it was a very important date.
Aaron Samuels asked Katie Herring what day it was. It was October 3rd.
You go, Glen Coco.
For you, Glen Coco. You go, Glen Coco.
Anyway, so back to screen.
None of that means anything to me.
Oh, it will. It'll be
And I'm sure you, the viewer, are
and it
too
will mean
sophisticated.
everything to you.
All right, so what's our next timestamp?
Just listen to what Tatum says.
Tatum.
Try to get some sleep.
Yeah.
At least she's taking care of her friend here.
I find it interesting that she has two twin beds in her
I was thinking
room.
the same thing.
So maybe she had a twin that was
She
related.
ate in the womb.
or that.
So basically, she's talking about how perfect Billy is.
So dream.
He was destined to have a flaw. I knew he was too perfect.
He has to kill people.
Yeah, like that upsets me for some reason. Like she's being so nonchalant about this entire
That
situation.
is. Yeah, that is pretty
Like
crazy.
your friend almost got murdered, and you're like, ugh, he's just too perfect.
Yeah, I agree with
And
you.
like playing pop music.
Yeah, you don't listen to popular music.
This isn't like a casual sleepover.
Yeah, that's true. I buy that. That's changing my mind about her.
Sydney.
I find it interesting that the mom didn't ask who was calling.
Well, she said it's your dad.
No, she didn't.
Leave me alone.
Go back to that.
I
going
thought
back.
she said.
She says, Sydney, it's your dad.
I thought she said I don't know.
Well, hang on.
Because she said, "Has anyone seen my dad?"
Telephone, honey.
What is it? For Sid. My dad?
I don't think so.
Oh, I misunderstood. Allison was right.
1 point to Allison.
Oh, damn.
Oh my God, she's doing a victory dance in the whole thing.
Yeah.
An innocent guy doesn't stand a chance with you.
Leave me alone.
I have the same reaction anytime I have to make a phone call.
Yeah. Oh, this restaurant doesn't have an online ordering system. No.
You're not getting my business.
What?
And then he comes out with the gun.
I'm going to shoot the phone.
In his tidy whites.
Oh, is he wearing the whitey tights?
Oh gosh, and can we talk about his mustache?
Yes,
porn
it's bad.
stash.
It's a
I
bad one.
I wonder
the
if they
look.
put on the mustache
Do
to
you
make him
actually
look
love-
a little older because
Possibly.
No, it's not attractive in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, good.
It's creepy.
I'm glad
And
you think that.
imagine like touching that, like.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
Mine's 4140.
Okay, cool.
I was just saying in this one, they just do such a good job of making Gail Weathers so unlikable.
She's so, but at the same time, well, I guess you don't really start liking her till the thing I like about the scene where she's talking to her about Cotton is like Gail is unlikable, but she's unlikable for a reason. She is upset with Sydney for putting away an innocent man in prison.
Well,
And they give her a
because
good.
it's also a bigger scandal if she doesn't care about saving his life.
Well, don't we find out later that she had been like interviewing Cotton and had struck up a friendship with him?
Yeah.
So like Cotton meant something to her. And definitely meant something to her career, but like they kind of humanize her a little bit with that tidbit.
Yeah, but not in this movie. So I always took the interaction to mean like this is the specific conversation where she finishes with Sydney and then turns to her cameraman, and it seems like a pure. Can you imagine what she says it? Can you imagine what that's going to do for my book sales?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's
So
definitely an asshole.
She's a bitch.
She's Nancy Grace.
Although not that bad, but I will say that
She doesn't talk enough with her hair. Like
Nancy Grace is super annoying to listen to. It's crazy. I didn't think she was convincingly unlikable. Something about her is just so likable that it bled through.
To me, it was that I honestly think that she she cared for. Did it mean her book sales? Yeah, absolutely. But I think she legitimately was concerned that an innocent person was sitting in prison.
I had a different reading until the second movie. So
yeah, the movies, the more context you're given.
Yeah, so in this movie, they made her purely unlikable.
Except
but Zach
with
says that
Dewey.
Except with Dewey.
He's her soft spot.
After your mother seduced him, I saw him leave wearing it. No, you saw someone leave wearing that coat. The same someone who planted it in Cotton's car, framing him. No. Cotton murdered my mother.
Don't you talk back to me.
Nice welt, sweetie. Let's go, Sid. The killer's still on the loose, isn't he? Come on, Sid. Those murders are related. Sorry I mangled your face. Wait, Sydney, don't go. Just stop.
Like Danny McBride back there.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it, Kevin.
Man on death row. A killer's still on the loose. Kenny, tell me I'm dreaming.
You want to go live?
No. Not so fast. We don't have anything concrete.
This is huge. You can't just sit on it.
I know. That's why we need proof. If I'm right about this, I could save a man's life.
See?
Do you know what that could do for my book sale?
Oh, and then she turned around.
I was like, see what? I'm proving my point. My next is at 45:24, which is, I think, what we're getting into. And it's just, high school girls are the worst.
She was never attacked. I think she made it all up.
So I never ran into people
The
like
girl has some serious issues.
this chick here.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the
coming.
cheerleader.
Yeah.
Sydney.
I never ran into
Sydney.
someone whose personality was like that. Are those people real?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Bitchy cheerleaders are real.
brutal. Now, is there somebody that gets this in-depth into the psyche of a possible murder? Absolutely not. It's more like, she's such a slut.
Yeah.
Bubble butt boyfriend Billy.
See, that was normal. The blonde, not so much.
Mother, you're evil. Please, it's a common fact. Her mother was a tramp.
But they definitely would have heard her come in or someone come in.
Think about it.
'Cause she didn't
her
care.
mother's death leaves
Yeah.
her disturbed and hostile in a cruel and inhumane world. She's delusional. Where's God, etc. Completely suicidal. One day she snaps. She wants to kill herself, but she realizes that teen suicide is out this year, and homicide is a much healthier therapeutic expression. Where do
You know who she kind of looks like there is the sister from Even Stevens.
Oh, Christy Carlson Romano.
You know, I was going to say the writing of that part seemed almost like a Joss Whedon piece.
I was thinking the same thing. That read very Buffy to me. That to me looked like Cordelia.
Yeah, blonde Cordelia.
And but not done quite as well as he would have done it. Because I don't think it made sense. But murder's more.
I mean,
in or whatever.
it's very odd. It's an odd placement for the movie because everyone's kind of joking around and not taking this seriously, and that girl just got deep.
Some deep cuts.
Yeah.
Well, I have 48. It's when Gail and Dewey are talking.
Hi, Gail Weathers, field correspondent.
It's just this whole part.
I know who you are, Miss Weathers. How's the eye?
It's productive. Is there a problem on campus?
No, everything's under control.
Well, of course, you're here.
You're not supposed to be here.
I know. I should be in New York covering the Sharon Stone stalker, but who knew?
I don't know.
You look awfully young to be a
I didn't look for any of those basic things because I'm horrible at my job.
In a demographic study, I proved to be most popular amongst males 11 to 24. I guess I just missed you. Of course, you don't look a day over 12.
She says you don't look a day over 12. What does that mean?
She said it seductively as well.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's not exactly
you
complimentary.
Don't look a day over 12. Like, oh, why?
I'm going to have a roll in the hay with you later.
Yeah,
roll
literally.
in
Oh wait,
the
no,
hay.
that's Scream 4 when they roll in hay.
Oh, do they? Spoiled.
I know. I just ruined the whole fucking series.
Damn. Now you know they survived to 4.
Does the force require you to work?
I didn't say she was alive.
Oh, God.
It takes a real weird turn.
But that means he is alive and has weird taste.
I need your attention now, kids.
And that's all I
he
had
created
for that.
a narrative for a corpse that he's been dating.
That'd be a great subtitle for the next Scream, the corpse I'm dating or something.
Scream 2, the corpse girl.
I dated a corpse.
Also at 54:30, Tatum says something that is like something.
Right.
I mean, we certainly don't have any leads. Have you located Sydney's father yet?
No, yeah.
Well, he's not a suspect, is he?
We haven't ruled him out as a possibility. If you'll excuse me.
I'm sorry. Am I keeping you?
If I may say so, Miss Weathers.
I really thought he was going to have a spine for a moment. And he, if I may say so, you need to get out of here because these people are traumatized and they don't need your garbage. Mm-hmm. But no, he was like taking his hat off. Oh, gee, I just think you're the prettiest.
We should go to the ice cream social
Well,
later.
much prettier in person.
So you do watch the show?
I was 24
25.
for a whole year.
I was 24 for a whole year.
Lame.
Please call me Gail.
Please call me Gail.
You're so 12-y looking.
Her face is just so punchable.
Courtney Cox, I love you. You're so hot on that show. Does anyone know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's South Park.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in the movie. Stan's dad sings it.
I have no memory of this thing.
That's
I
such a
thought you
Zach-
just created
Yeah,
it.
that's such a Zach thing to make.
And then I was shocked because I was like, really? That's your type?
I mean, she's pretty, I guess.
Not anymore, but she used to be back in the day.
Back in the day.
Oh.
We got to see that Wes Craven cameo.
So didn't he sell the rights to Freddy or Nightmare on Elm Street, like before the first movie even came out?
Wes Craven?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because I think I read a piece of trivia that like later in the movie, someone says that all the Friday the 19th or Friday the 19th.
Much more.
Somebody sold the rights of Friday the 19th, maybe not the 13th.
That would be such a good spoof movie, though. Friday the 19th.
Friday the night, nothing happens.
Nothing in particular was interesting on that day.
Someone's just sitting at home, orders a pizza.
Nightmare on Elm Street. All the sequels were terrible. Someone says that later in the movie, and I think that was written in because he didn't have anything to do with the sequels.
That would make sense. Or it's just him being self-deprecating.
I don't know.
Maybe he just didn't have as much creative control over them because I think he's always had a hand in them. I just don't know if I don't think he ever owned the rights to.
Maybe, I don't know. That's what I read. So I thought that.
I don't know. There are some questionable Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So.
I think the only one. I think the only one I've seen all the way through is the Dream Warriors one.
I love Dream Warriors.
Dream Warriors is good. The second one has a whole. There's a documentary about the second one actually called Scream Queen, about how the main character. Because I guess when that movie came out, it was like groundbreaking and edgy because the main character.
Wasn't he gay? Or
everyone was like, "This is so homoerotic and everything," and
Yeah.
so they did a documentary called Scream Queen about how the actor actually is gay and like all of like how.
But he wasn't ready to be out.
Right, he wasn't out yet or
No.
anything, and how uncomfortable it was for him, but also like how that movie helped the LGBTQ plus community, and like there's I haven't seen it all the way through, but it was pretty interesting.
So had they intended to make it seem homoerotic, or was
No,
that
I just think
that was just himself blossoming out?
I guess I don't know.
So it looks like he's had a hand in writing a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Streets.
Okay, so it says Drew Barrymore's characters claims that the sequels to A Nightmare on Elm Street sucked, and Wes Craven sold the rights to the sequels before the film was released and became a success, and disliked many of the sequels.
Gotcha.
Okay, that makes sense then.
All right, so what's your next one?
5543. And this is just one of my this movie is very self-aware, but how delightfully weird Lillard is.
A little lapdog. He's got killer printed all over his forehead.
Okay.
Really? Why'd the cops let him go, smart guy? Because obviously they don't watch enough movies. This is standard horror movie stuff.
So you said he
Prom
did
night
not he didn't like his performance in this movie?
He said his gums were too showy. He said he was too gummy.
Oh.
His gums.
Man. Yeah? Why would he want to kill his own girlfriend? There's always some stupid bullshit reason to kill your girlfriend. That's the beauty of
The woman in the background perked up.
I just noticed that.
She's hyper-focused on what's going on there.
Well, what's his reason?
Do you remember when you first saw this movie, like, when you started putting pieces together about who was doing what or who might have been the killer? Or did you just kind of suspect everybody until...
I think if I remember correctly, I suspected everybody.
Even Sydney?
Especially Cindy.
Not her. I think I always thought it was Dewey. He seemed too innocent and too goofy. And and this is really sad to say, but I had seen Scary Movie before I saw Scream. So in Scary Movie, he ends up being the bad guy. What his character's name's like Doofy or something. And he ends up being the killer. So I was like, oh, it has to be him in the original movie.
Yeah.
And
they do set him up.
I'm so glad I was wrong.
Yeah. There was one scene, I think, near the end of the movie where it kind of like played some ominous music when he leaves frame. So I don't think I ever thought it was him. I saw it when I was a kid. So like my prediction this time around, I was pretty sure it was the main boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I was pretty sure there was another guy helping him out, and I couldn't think who it was, so my guess was between these two guys.
Yeah.
Motives are incidental.
Millennium. Millennium, I like that. That's good.
Honk.
Millennium.
Good kid.
Millennium. Good word, my man.
So I'll say the first time I saw this movie, I was staying over at my friend Ashton's place for a sleepover. And she had this house in the middle of nowhere that was all windows. It was creepy as hell. It was up in Accokeek, Maryland. And like it was just all windows in the woods, very isolated. And we freaked ourselves out. Like we were legitimately scared.
So this scene, I want to point they're walking around the liquor store.
Yeah, and they're teenagers.
And they're teenagers in high school, which apparently that's okay in this town. But they see the reflection of Mr. Scream Man. How did he enter the store with no one seeing him?
Yeah, but he has been so
I think
patient
this is
with me.
not
You know,
a
all the
pure
sex
liquor
stuff.
store. I
When he
think
got
it's
to
one of
pick
the
up a
grocery
girlfriend
stores that can
sexually
have
anorexic.
liquor in it. Like
Oh, because they're not in Maryland.
Yeah, Virginia has beer and wine in their grocery stores.
Possibly. Okay, so there you see Scream Man.
But everyone's saying that it's like. Well, actually, I don't know if they say if this is around Halloween or not, but everybody has that costume. It's like
Dewey makes a comment here in the ice cream cigarette scene where he's like, they're available in every 5 and dime.
Yeah.
Okay, but how did nobody notice Scream Man going in and out? Like the proprietor of the store, didn't see him come in?
They could have, but they may not have cared.
Yeah, it's just like,
a jerk.
just pay for your whatever and get the fuck out of my store.
Okay, so imagine you are the proprietor of a CVS.
Yeah.
And it's a CVS that is happening to take place at the same time as a horror movie convention, comic book convention. You know how much shit you see? And you just kind of have to be like, well, this is the new life for this week.
Yeah, and
it's convention season.
And it also makes contextual sense in Hollywood. But if you're out in the middle of, country bumpkin town, and there's no convention around, and there's a serial killer going around killing folks dressed like this.
But like all those teenagers were wearing it in high school, and they got in the school, and they got in trouble for it. So maybe you just thought it was another stupid teenager doing stupid teenager shit.
Yeah.
Well, but
apparently this entire town is just all stupid teenagers.
It's true.
and maybe the guy behind the counter was
Yeah.
also a stupid teenager.
Yeah.
It's possible.
They don't get paid enough to worry about these things.
Yeah. You know what? As long as you're paying for your corn nuts, I don't care.
Your corn nuts.
Corn nuts.
Yeah, it's a salty nut made out of corn.
Yeah, it's
corn nuts.
It's like a
Never heard of
corn.
it.
It's like Kix cereal, but savory.
Gross.
The next one I have is 107.
I have 105. Tatum now sees the ghost face and she thinks it's like a joke.
Because that's a lot of hard-boiled eggs or fresh eggs in the outside refrigerator.
I thought she had a lot of good fight in her. Threw a few bottles.
She drops a few bottles. No, she did throw a couple. You're right.
She threw a couple. Got him in the groin. Got him in the face.
Yeah. You want to...
Trips him at one point.
Oh, there he is.
Is that you, Randy?
In this scene, though, it's more shiny, I think, than I remember.
It's like a sparkly...
Yeah.
So my parents' garage, they had like a little foot sensor. So if you crossed it, the door would halt or go back up. And I think this is just an advertisement of why those safety measures are necessary.
So right there, that's the only time you hear the name Ghostface in the entire movie.
And you actually see the label on the outfit thing that they show earlier, and it's called something else.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was. Halloween Joe.
Last year, you came over to my house and we carved pumpkins, and I tried to make a ghost face pumpkin.
I think you were successful.
I remember that. I remember seeing pictures of it.
Yeah.
I wasn't happy with it, but I'm seldom happy with my own art.
There we go. Groin.
She's good
Face. And trip.
Yep.
And
Now,
then
if only they had that little security sensor to pop the garage back open.
absolutely. Well, but I don't think any garage door would continue going up, but I don't think they're strong enough.
Well, usually also garage doors have a sensor, so like if something's moving, it just stops.
Yeah.
So like she's flailing around, wouldn't it stop?
Well,
Yeah.
they don't see on the ground level. They don't have any of those sensors.
Well, but that's for when the door's coming down. But when for the door's coming up, I mean, if you just grab the door with your hand,
It'll just keep going.
well, no, I mean, if you grab the door with your hand and start pulling it, it would stop. It would stop moving. And so her whole body weight, I don't even think those motors are strong enough to do this.
So what you're saying is like
This is
just not plausible.
And
No,
if this
this movie
isn't
is
true,
over.
none of it's true.
except for her nipples, obviously.
Those were also fake. Fake nips.
Oh, she had like the little suction ones that they had in Sex in the
Well,
City.
I wondered about that. So do you think that for movies like this, do you think that they intended for her nipples to look like that?
Yeah, they harden them on purpose. They put like you know how the
Silicone.
hair dryer can go cold? They do that right before the scene starts.
Why?
I don't know. That's just what Holly
because we
from
want
the
to
Playboy
sexualize our
Mansion told me.
teenagers.
Sexy teens, just like in the last in the Lost Boys, he wanted
Yeah.
sexy kids.
Sexy kids.
So this one, I'm setting up an ethical issue.
Okay.
There goes my chance.
You mean the murders aren't ethical?
Damn it.
Well, I think they're pretty black and white. they're not good. Murder's not good.
Oh, really, Alicia?
All right, so the ethical problem is in here. We're inside the news van, and Courtney Cox has set up a camera pointed at a bunch of
Partying
liquored up,
teenagers?
This is
partying,
a-
nubile teenagers.
Depending on what state you're in, this is perfectly legal to record people without their consent.
But it's the sexy kids, is what I'm saying. It's the kids getting sexy and drunk, and
But they're
just
not
watching.
getting sexy in there. They're getting sexy upstairs.
You don't know what might happen here. An orgy might spring up.
But if everyone believed that at some point some teens would have an orgy, no one would have all the recording devices on their cell phones that they do now.
So this is good news.
No, I didn't say it was good news. I'm just saying what it is. No, in this case, I think if she had intention to sell the video of the sexing teenagers
She
online,
wouldn't be allowed to. They'd be underage. It's child pornography.
Well, that's my
the
thing.
point I was going to make. Yeah, so if the video is nothing happens with it and it gets deleted, her recording it, yes, it's problematic, but she's looking for something else there.
Well, okay.
Murder.
But if you record kids at a party where it's likely that something like that might happen,
Zach, what parties did you go to in high
Yeah.
school where kids were just doing
Openly
it?
having orgies.
but she doesn't know is what I'm saying.
but
So she
there's
records.
She's
potential for-
anticipating it?
No, I'm saying she should have anticipated that it could potentially happen.
I don't think it would happen openly in that kind of a living room, though.
I don't think it.
These teens have some class.
I don't think it necessarily would,
Not
but
much.
it's possible.
It's not probable. Have you seen those teenagers?
Yeah,
they're all in their 30s.
I think you're thinking of Black Masked.
I often confuse movies with Black Masked. It's a great film. So check it out.
What's problematic with your theory is
not necessarily that they would have sex, but what if someone flashes like the room or something? That's
unlikely.
Conceivable. No, that's conceivable at a party like this.
No,
because
Yes,
I don't
it
know
is.
any. I don't know
Yes,
any
it is.
teenage girls to just like flash their boobs.
Well, maybe not the people you hung out with, but there are totally people like that exist.
Yeah, but usually they're the woo girls in college.
Yeah,
Yes.
they wait till college to show their boobs, not high school.
and then they wait to do it till the what was that? Girls Gone Wild or whatever.
Oh, like when you're on spring break. Woo! Spring break forever.
I don't think it's necessarily likely for all of them to have done it, but I'm saying that it's
What Zach is saying is it's entirely possible
In
that
his
Gail Weathers
mind-
was about to get child pornography,
Yes.
and this is an unethical situation.
yes, I think it was unethical for her to have done it because she doesn't know what she might have seen.
The entirety of her is unethical. This is the most unethical thing she's done.
Potential child pornography? Yeah.
I don't think that's what she was going for. I think she was going for. Actually, it's good you bring that up. What is she going for here? Why is she putting the camera in there? Not to catch a murderer, because like she wasn't anticipating they'd get murdered. What was she trying to find?
Exactly. But also, more than that, I don't think it matters. I think she should have anticipated the potential pitfalls of what she did.
Right.
And so it might not have mattered her
She
intention.
couldn't
Your
have aired
pitfalls
any
are
of this.
exactly-
Like
But
on
having
her
a
show.
having a personal collection is still just as creepy, I feel like.
I just don't think that her
Yeah.
the probability of random titties in this party, I just think it's minimal.
I mean, they're just
Even if it's minimal, it's there.
minimal.
Okay,
titties.
yeah, minimal titties can happen at any time, anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
But it's more likely when everyone's getting drunk at a party.
No, it's not. It's less likely
Come
because there's
on.
more people around.
Yes, of
I
course.
think we should put this to a test. I think when coronavirus is over and it's safe to party again, Zach and I just go to a lot
High
of
school?
parties.
A lot of high school parties?
Well, no, not high school.
I was like, where's Kaya
No,
going
we're
with
not
this?
doing high school parties because that's weird. We are adults and that's creepy. But
Yeah.
like, sure, if we'll rate how many titties Zach may or may not see.
I'm just saying it's a possibility.
We should get a checklist, like a tally marker of Zach seeing some titties. Like
That's such a weird
and
sentence.
then it's like the pictures where like you see the president at the beginning of their journey and the end of their journey, and it's like Zach looks so downtrodden by the last titty. He just
too
looks,
many
he's
boobs.
weathered down.
Also, I never say the word titties, and so this has felt so unnatural to have this
Look,
entire.
nobody's forced anyone to say titties.
It does sound like a toddler cursing. It's just not natural for you to say the word titty.
It doesn't feel good.
Titties.
Titties.
Is it because I'm articulating it too?
It's just because you're too good of a person to use such foul language.
Yeah.
Titties.
The titties inherently.
All right, moving on.
So I think we agree that this is unethical.
Nobody disagreed with that.
You guys are making so many
different
excuses for her.
Well, no, it's just why we think it's unethical does not
correlate to what you think is
Well, what's unethical about it for you then?
one, in most states it's illegal to record anybody without their consent.
Okay, but saying that that's not the case
But
here.
one, she's recording underage teenagers, not for the titty factor.
Not necessarily titties. It could be
But, like,
dongs.
they're-
What
like,
if
they're-
what if one of the guys is feeling weird and
But
Having
also,
a
what's
circle jerk?
unethical?
no,
is
just
like,
wants to flop it out just to be strange?
Okay, yeah, no, that just doesn't happen.
Could
But
happen.
What actually?
I think
that
the
did
more
happen in high. Now that I'm thinking
I-
about
See?
it, somebody did
Dude,
whip
it
a
can-
dick out.
people
But
just
a
do
dick
weird
is more
things.
likely than a tit.
Sure.
And
So
I mean,
I think you're more likely to get someone doing a recreation
Look,
of the risky business slide. In.
You guys have been more obsessed with titties here than anyone.
Well,
I have
but
not mentioned titties.
going back to what's unethical
think we
about
should
this
do a
is like
count when we
these
go
kids
to
are
listen.
partying during a murder. Like
Yeah.
like they are supposed to be like call their fucking parents, get them somewhere safe. Not we're just gonna let them keep drinking. Like they walk in there with Dewey and he's like, oh, it's fine to drink underage.
I know, he takes
"Oh,
somebody's
what are
beer
you
and
doing?"
then gives it back to
Yeah,
them.
he's
I'm
like,
just kidding,
are you
man.
old enough for that? No, I'm just kidding. Have fun.
I'm not a
You
buzzkill.
literally don't want these kids congregating because there's somebody out there killing teenagers, and you're just going to be perfectly fine with them partying.
As long as we get it on tape, the murders.
That brings me back to why is she filming? What does she hope to see? And that's all.
And what is it likely that she, or even unlikely?
I mean, because she
but
could
still.
not have anticipated that she'd see all these people get murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we all agree. I mean, they all are also in an unmarked white van in a shadowy area.
Yeah, but he's not enticing people there like, hey, you want some candy?
Yeah,
You don't know
hey,
what he
you
might
want
do.
some raw footage?
I will say that
Nobody
Kenny-
came by the van yet.
I will say
Some raw footage.
I will say that Kenny the cameraman seems to have the more ethical personality out of
He is
everyone.
the most abused person in
Yeah.
this entire movie.
Poor fella.
All right, so 111 was both Kaya's and
Yeah.
my next timestamp. Because we find this more disturbing
It's
than the
so
possibility
cringy. It's so cringy. The way she talks is gross.
I just don't understand. With all of her theories and everything, why is this her choice?
Yeah, how come like after your mom gets murdered, you don't want to have sex, but your friend gets murdered, and it's like, oh, let's just after you accuse your boyfriend of murder, it's like, oh, let me like
It might
you
not
my
have been him.
flower.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. I just paused my entire
That's
thought.
something
Did-
Sydney would say.
Okay.
My flower.
Half my
Was she
flower.
one of the girls from Now and Then? Like,
What's Now and Then?
I don't either. What's that?
Oh, it's a really cute movie with Christina Ricci. It's a coming of age story. Thora Birch is in it too.
Okay. It's so funny that you bring up Thora Birch because I watched Hocus Pocus the other night and went on a rant about how much I cannot stand Thora Birch because of her lack of eyebrows. It just really bothers me.
Which one
Does
is
she not
Thora
have
Birch?
eyebrows?
She's the little sister in Hocus Pocus, the bratty one.
Oh, yeah.
She just doesn't have eyebrows in Hocus Pocus, and she's never fixed that situation. And she's like in her 30s now. Come on,
She still doesn't have eyebrows?
she don't have eyebrows.
Maybe she has a medical condition.
Yeah, like,
But
look
like, draw them in. That's why she's only in Lifetime movies now because of her lack of brow, and she's just a bad actress.
I mean, they're there. They're just faint. They're like mine.
So what did
Mine
you-
are very...
But see, you can see brows. I don't know. Something about her just really upsets me.
Well, yeah. So did you not like her acting or her character in Hocus Pocus?
I like the idea of her character, but she's a little asshole.
I have to agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
children
she's
should not be
a
in
brat.
movies in general.
I totally agree. Well, we were talking about this last episode. I've got a real problem with child actors.
in general.
Yeah. Like it's not great.
Yeah.
But she had them in Now and Then. Looking at the image, they're just very faint.
I bet they CG'd them on later.
She looks like a
CG.
loser.
But that it's a really cute movie. I recommend it Now and Then.
All right.
You'll cry. You'll laugh. You'll look for
She'll
eyebrows.
shave off your eyebrows.
Yeah. Solidarity, baby.
One great big movie.
Oh.
All right. So he's caressing her cheek.
And she's like, "Oh, I wish it was like a Meg Ryan movie or like a good porno." Ugh, gross. One, fuck Meg Ryan, and ew. And two, I'm just kidding. I have nothing against Meg Ryan, but like, come on.
I will say that her and Tom Hanks were always adorable together.
I never saw that, but she's in
What?
some movie with Matthew.
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan?
Sleepless in Seattle, right?
Was she his daughter or something?
No, they were love interests.
interests. They're the same age.
Are they really?
Yes.
Oh, I always took her to be someone much younger.
No,
Like I would
if
say,
anything, she's a little older.
if I were to guess her age now, before you guys started saying these things, I would have said she was maybe like 37.
In Sleepless in Seattle?
No, now.
She's 58,
Yeah, she's older than Courtney Cox.
Courtney Cox. I love
and
her.
Tom Hanks is
She's
64.
so hot on that show. All right, so Meg Ryan, eh?
Megan Ryan.
Megan Rye. That's how I call her. We're friends.
me and Maggie. Back to the cringe.
All right, she's getting into it.
Meg Ryan.
Oop.
Ugh.
Ugh.
Or a good porno.
Or even a good porno.
Ugh. And whispering, I cannot stand whispering. It makes me uncomfortable in general, and that just everything about that makes me want to die.
Oh,
Do you remember
is
that
that
rap
why you
song
don't
that
like
was like the
NPR?
whisper song?
That's why I don't like NPR. Actually, so that's probably it. Like, I love the idea of NPR. I love what they're saying, but I cannot listen to it because it's like when you go to the movies and you hear somebody pouring a Coke over ice. That sound drives me crazy. It's like reverse ASMR. I cannot stand it.
So I'm with you on whispering, and also people like chewing. Like,
Ew, it's gross.
Like that sound?
It's disgusting.
so I liked this scene. I liked all these guys gathered around. I think this is.
And then he gives the rules of horror.
Well, yeah, that's what my timestamp was, because the rules do follow through the rest of the series until the fourth one when they added new rules.
This was the first scene that I actually had a good chuckle. I don't think, because this is billed as a horror comedy, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I got any kind of comedy out of it really until this scene, but I thought this was chuckle worthy.
But Sydney's not a virgin, so why isn't she dead yet?
She's a virgin up until
now.
Yeah. But I mean, the other movies, like, she should be dead at this point, right?
Yeah.
You just wanted her to die.
So you were rooting for Emma Roberts in the fourth one?
No, but the new one, I have a feeling they are going to finally kill her off.
They also said Lillard's coming back.
Yeah, Lillard's coming back, which I'm interested in because, like, we see him die in this movie, and there's no way you can come back from that. So what is it?
Who's Lillard?
Shaggy Joe.
Shaggy.
Okay. Oh yeah. So he bleeds out, and then
He gets hit with a TV and like electric.
yeah, that's right. Okay, that was
So
his
like,
final thing.
how does he come back? I don't know. I don't know if it's prequel, but he's too old for that. I don't know. I just think Sydney's going to die. I also think Dewey's going to die because he's lived far too long. Or he might live to be the villain.
It's also uncomfortable to see him and Courtney Cox together, knowing that they really don't
That's some
care
bad
for each other
I
anymore.
don't know if they hate each other.
I thought I read somewhere that they did, but I could be misinterpreting the facts.
I mean, one could hope they get along because they have children, but I mean, it's entirely possible they hate each other.
So we're about to get into the speech on the rules.
Not until Trading Places in '83. Jamie Lee was always the virgin in horror movies. She never showed her tits until she went legit.
Tits.
Could afford a decent pair.
What'd you say?
What?
That's why she always outsmarted the killer in the big chase scene at the end. Only virgins can do that. Don't you know the rules? What rules? You don't... Jesus Christ, you don't know the rules?
Have an aneurysm, why don't you?
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie. For instance, number 1, you can never have sex. Big no-no! Big no!
I'm a dead man.
Even in popcorn, sex equals death, okay? Number 2, you can never drink or do drugs.
They all cheers each other.
The sin factor. It's a sin. It's an extension of number 1. And number 3, never, ever, ever, under any circumstances say,
I'll be back.
Because you won't be back.
I'm getting another beer. You want one?
I'll be back.
Yeah, sure.
I'll be right back.
How edgy.
You end up dead. Okay, I'll see you in the kitchen with a knife. Only virgins can outsmart the killer in the big chase.
Oh yeah. So my title for this is Little Bastards.
Are you talking about her tits?
Little Bastard 1 and 2.
I mean, the freeze frame that you put on there was just her taking off her bra.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's where my mind went too.
Yeah?
Little Bastards.
Oh, I know what this is. Find some old stab.
I like the music.
That's Halloween.
I know. That's why I like it.
Just making sure you knew.
That's my favorite horror movie, I think.
Oh, that's good.
He was gutted
Proud
and
of you.
hung from the goalpost on the football field.
Solid choice.
Let's go over there before they pry him down.
Hey! Hey!
These kids are fucking rude.
So they just heard that their principal has been strung up on the football field or something like that, and they're like, "Let's go see it before they take it
Who
down."
told them? Did the police give them a call? Like,
So
I don't know, but are they all psychopaths?
Well, I
the
will
whole town is psycho.
Teenagers in particular have not fully developed their sense of empathy, and so I think they don't think things rationally. And they
they're
were drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
And drunk people do crazy things,
Like see
It's
dead
true.
bodies.
like flash people at parties.
Oh my god. It's just not gonna happen, man. It's just never
It's not gonna happen. I'm not looking for it. I'm saying it's a definite thing
Get
that can
off
happen.
it, Zach. It's never gonna happen.
All right, fine.
Oh, he looks all dejected now.
It'll happen.
One day.
All right, so Mr. Scream is trying to hurt main lady, getting into the van. She's crawling through a little cubby. He's reaching around, opening the door in an
He
awkward
reached
way.
around.
She's crawling out of the back, and
Yeah, why would he go through the cubby hole?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
why-
he just go around the car?
yeah, it's
But
very
it
odd.
also
If it's-
shows how stupid they
If
are.
it's stew,
And he was
yeah,
drinking.
Stew is short for stupid. That was dumb. Don't laugh at it.
Okay, so we've got Deputy Doo-Doo. Dewey. Deputy Doo-Doo. All right, so listen.
Is there a phone in the
Listening.
van?
Yeah.
Lock yourself in it. Call the sheriff for backup.
Okay. Is there a phone in your van? Yes. All right. Get in there. Call the sheriff for backup. He's literally at his police car. There is a radio in it. Use that.
That would have been way quicker.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. Well, no, but did he give her the keys to go into his police car and say, lock yourself in there?
I think you said the van, her news van.
Maybe he thought it was more secure. I don't know.
Maybe.
But why couldn't he just stay there with her and like, hey, Chief, bad stuff happened. Come quick.
Because
yes.
now all of a sudden he wants to do his job.
Poorly.
If there's people alive, he wants to save them.
I didn't look for any of those basic things because I'm
Horrible at my job.
What's that even from?
Scrubs.
Oh, you already explained that, and I've already forgotten.
Anyway, so that's all. I wanted to criticize him one last time.
That's fair.
I still love him, though. He's a lovable fella.
He's just a doofy guy.
He's just a deputy
Officer
doo-doo.
Doofy.
Stanley, Jesus, we gotta get the fuck out of here! Stop right there! Don't shoot, it's me! I
All right.
found him, she's dead!
Question for you.
Answer for you.
Stay back!
All right, she's pointing a gun at them, and they're both still advancing anyway.
Because they don't think she's going to shoot him. She's a little bitch.
So what would you do if you were her?
I would shoot,
I would shoot at their feet to make sure they knew.
Yeah. Definitely at least discharge once.
Well, I would shoot both in the leg. That way, it doesn't matter which one's the killer. Both are down, so lock the door.
I'm not going to...
I thought about that, but you can also hit an article. I mean, an artery.
An article.
You can hit an artery.
Legally, like, none of that's good. She shouldn't shoot at all, because the second you shoot a bullet, it enters a world of, like, her being in prison for some reason.
Right, but it also, if she doesn't, she might end up dead. So...
Yeah, but the law doesn't care about you being dead.
But you'll care when you're alive.
Yeah, I probably would have discharged to the ground so they knew that I was capable of firing it. But I'm also not a person who foresees myself ever really firing a weapon.
But if you were her...
If I was her in that moment. And so one of the things that I said about this scene is she made a good choice, with the whole fuck you both thing, because I wouldn't know who or what to believe at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Her one theory was that it was her boyfriend, and as far as she knows, he's dead. So
he wasn't that great anyways.
So
it's true, despite what Rose McGowan said.
So this is a question for you. Did everybody have their parents drive them here? Where's everyone's cars?
Where is everybody's parents in general? Are
Well,
they
that too.
all out of town?
Well, they
were
all
gone,
peeled
Stu's were
out
gone.
to go see the dead principal. So I think everyone left.
Oh, yeah, because we do see them almost run over Gail and what's-his-face in their cars as they're going to see the principal.
Well, what about these two fellas?
Well, one of them that's their house.
Yeah, it's Stu's house.
Okay, so the other one must have driven here. Hopefully still has a car. I would demand his keys.
I mean...
Leave.
Okay, so you're thinking that they can't figure out a car situation, and that's what worries you the most, more than you think that somebody's going to show a titty at the party?
No. I'm saying...
It's more plausible that people don't have a ride home than it is for a titty to pop out.
No, I'm saying that for a practical thing to do, if you were in her situation, would be to say, give me your car keys. I'm taking your car and leaving. You guys can figure out who the killer is. I don't care.
But what if one of them is the killer and they overpower her? You can't leave too much time for them to do something.
And she's having to make a snap decision, so I don't think she's thinking about things on that kind of level of clarity.
I don't think that's too big of a stretch. Just give me keys. I need go.
Give me keys. I got gun.
I got gun. I will go.
It's not the Kevin rule where few words do.
When few words do trick.
See, I still don't know if you're talking about seeing the world or SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Anyway, so fuck you both. I think that was a smart move on her part.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's the quote. I'm not telling my friends to fuck off.
No,
I hadn't taken it that way until you said something.
Yeah, now I think she did.
No.
All right, so I don't have any more timestamps. What do you guys have?
I have 1:30:55.
I have 1:31, so I think we're both at the same part.
Mine is the specific quote, which is a nod to Psycho.
Surprise, Cindy.
See, now I don't know when you're doing it for real.
Oh, now, whoa. What's the matter, Sydney? You look like you've seen a ghost.
Why are you doing this?
It's all part of the game, Sydney.
It's called Guess How I'm Gonna Die!
Fuck you!
We already played that game, remember? You lost. It's a fun game, Sydney. See, we ask you a question, and if you get it wrong, booga!
Booga! Such an odd sound effect.
You're crazy, both of you.
This
This is where I wanted to pause because look how
they're
this
so
is-
cute together.
I really think that Stu had a thing for Billy. I think this is meant to be a homoerotic.
He's a sensitive
Well,
youth.
he was
far
also
too sensitive.
He was all up on what's his face in the video store also.
Yeah, he was
playing with his
hugging him
earlobes.
behind, yeah.
I think he just loves men.
I think it's okay for him to love both.
And he would do anything for this man, and this man taught him to kill people.
I think I think they're really cute. They're cute together there.
I would go to that wedding.
Yeah.
What? No, I wouldn't. That's dangerous. I don't know what's going to happen there.
Maybe a titty will fall.
Maybe a titty will fall out and someone accidentally recorded it.
That will not happen at my wedding. No erroneous.
But there's
titties.
nothing wrong, and unless if everyone's overage, it's fine. If a titty falls out and it gets recorded, nothing's
fine.
wrong.
If a titty falls in the woods, to say,
and no one's around to record it.
Is it child abuse?
Oh, God.
Well, that's the whole point of it. Never mind.
So the quote that I was going at is about to happen.
All right.
Oh no. Tell that to Cotton Weary.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
How easy it is to frame. Watch a few movies, take a few notes. It was fun. It was fun.
No.
Oh.
Why? Why did you kill my mother?
Why?
Why?
You hear that, Stu? I think she wants a motive.
It gets really meta.
I don't really believe in motive, Sid. I mean, did Norman Bates have a motive? No. Did they ever really decide why Hannibal Lecter liked to eat people? Don't think so. See, it's a lot scarier when there's no motive, Sid.
So not necessarily Big Stu over here, but Billy, sweet little Billy. He reminds me of the guys in Funny Games.
Oh yeah, I could see that. I don't know. Funny
You haven't
Game.
seen- that's
It's
such
a
a good
home
movie.
invasion movie. Two guys just kind of come in and start torturing a family.
Yeah, but they don't do it like they come in with like chains and saws and things like
They
that.
come in with golf clubs.
Yeah, they come in like they're
The strangers.
like they're a next door neighbor, and they're like, "Hey, can we borrow this?" And they just kind of never leave, and they kind of slowly it gets a little bit more sinister every like 5
So
minutes
like
or so.
me moving into Chris's house.
Exactly.
Except that you're not.
Can't imagine what he was going
torturing.
through.
Yeah. You're not torturing anybody.
No.
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Attention. Oh! What do we have behind door number 3, Sydney?
Daddy!
Whoa, hold it. That's enough. Guess we won't be needing this anymore.
And oh, look at this. Ring, ring. Won't need this.
Got the ending figured out yet, Sid? Come on, Sydney. You think about it now, huh? Your daddy's the chief suspect. He cloned his cellular. Evidence is all right there, baby.
What if your father snapped your mother's
Wouldn't there be
anniversary,
tape
set him
residue
off, and he
like
went
on
a
him?
murder
Like
spree,
wouldn't they be
killing
able to
everyone?
find that?
Except for Billy and
And also gunpowder residue on his hands.
Yeah.
and fingerprints everywhere.
Shoots himself in the head.
And if that's not real, none of this is real.
I thought of that. Watch this. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah! I'm ready, baby!
So this is kind of original.
Get up! Yeah, man, get up! Hey! Go on, man. Jesus. Oh, shit. My turn.
Don't forget, stay to the side and don't go too deep.
You can see a little glimmer of them not trusting each other here.
See, like, forensic science just doesn't go along with that because they see the angle of where the stab wounds came from and they know, like, this is why kids are dumb.
Kids shouldn't commit murders.
Can't even plan it right.
Wait till you're an adult to do a murder. A little bit more wise.
Wait
and-
till you can empathize.
So would it have been a good idea for them to have waited until the very end of the process to stab each other?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. Why stab each other and make yourselves weaker before killing Sydney?
Yeah,
Before neutralizing all the threats.
Right, you do that at the very end. You're there. It's premature. It's premature stabbing.
Yeah, and it's also because when they go to kill her, their blood is going to get all over her.
Right, and it's like you are too weak. Like she can overpower you now. You're literally bleeding out.
Yeah.
They just got too excited.
Well, that and as you're saying with forensic science, though, I wonder if they thought it was more believable to have an earlier created wound to say, like, we were passed out at the time.
Maybe.
I was dead at the time.
I was on the moon.
With Steve.
Eddie Izzard.
Always Eddie Izzard. So, did we have another timestamp, or do we want to
1:38:33.
Hello?
Oh, Stu. What's your motive? Billy's got one. The police are on their way. What are you going to tell them?
Peer pressure. I'm far too sensitive.
It's like your fucking mother!
You gotta find me first, you can't
The other famous line is right after this.
Fucking hit me with the phone, Dick! Fucker, where are you?
He's got some issues.
Fuck!
Did you really call the police?
Did you really call the police?
You bet your sorry ass I did.
My mom and dad are gonna be so mad.
I kind of feel like I don't feel bad for him, but like he's kind of just a pathetic character.
He is.
Yeah.
He goes from being like kind of annoying and irritating to like absolutely pathetic.
Yeah.
But that was all I had.
All right, so I guess that's it. That's the end of the movie.
So, Kaya, was this as good as you remembered?
Always. Even better. Because I think the older I get, the more I hate everything. And so it's refreshing to see something I love.
That's sweet.
I think so, too. I think it's always just kind of a fun and entertaining film.
I can agree with that. Has your perspective on any of the issues in the movie, particularly filming children, changed over the years?
I think it depends on like what's happening in the world, because like especially now, like you want to relate things to like what's happening in society. And I think like this is a movie that will be good, like it ages well. I think because it touches on mental health, it touches on like police for just being
poorly
fucking stupid,
trained, yeah.
not doing anything, just useless.
That's a good point. What did he do? Did the police manage to accomplish anything?
They have not done a single goddamn thing this entire movie.
What an indictment!
Like seriously, if there isn't a better metaphor for this for what's happening now, it's this.
Like, yeah, Deputy What's-His-Face, Deputy Whoopsie, I'm going to name him. He forgot that there was a radio in his car.
Right, and he still got to be a deputy after bungling all of this.
Well, and he eventually becomes like the head of the police force.
He's like the
He
sheriff.
failed up.
It's just, but I think like Scream is so great because it set the tone for 90s horror after that, and it kind of created the formula. So
can you think of an imitator for Scream? Was there an imitator for Scream after that?
I mean, like there's the TV show and there's Scream 4, of course, but I think,
well, like I know What You Did Last Summer, I think, tried to be Scream-like in a way. Maybe less comedic.
Did that come out before Scream or after Scream? I think after. I think you're right. I definitely think so. And I think because it kind of sets the jock, the popular girl and that kind of stuff.
Right.
As far as like an imitator, I think every kind of like teenage horror movie kind of tries to be Scream at this point.
Yeah, I Know What You Did Last Summer was 97.
So like a year later. They might have been filming it when this came out.
So honestly, what I wrote down when I was rethinking about it now, one of the biggest things that have changed for me is my perception of Hollywood, and in particular Harvey Weinstein. Because when Kai and I were listening to Rose McGowan like do a recount of how she felt in Hollywood and the misconduct that Weinstein did, seeing his name just flash on movies that I enjoyed, it kind of makes me feel guilty and ponder about what other scandals are surrounding this film that I'm not even aware of. Or
well, like with anything, like it's like I can't watch anything with Kevin Spacey in it anymore because it's horrible. Like all of it's bad, and it's. Can we like anything anymore without something tainting it?
I mean, at least we don't see Weinstein's face. And
I think they're taking his name off of Like, I think they're going back and retroactively taking Weinstein Company and stuff out of things. If I'm not, I could be completely wrong about that. And just
I wonder if there's a legal reason they couldn't do that.
Well,
like, there's an ethical. I think that would be good if they could do that, but I don't know if they can legally.
I know in a lot of contracts, like, you don't want to put in something like there's like a clause in a lot of contracts where it's like if the name becomes harmful to the brand, you can remove it or something like that. I might have just pulled that out of my ass. Who knows? But
it sounds
it
reasonable.
sounds legitimate to me,
Yeah.
and I've seen it before. So it's like
industries will often do crazy things to protect themselves.
So Harvey Weinstein has been harmful to the Weinstein brand now, so it's taken all out.
Yeah.
Well, especially just hearing Rose McGowan personally recount her suffering. That was that was.
Well, also
having
the aggressor either not acknowledge it or apologize has to, like, so if someone did apologize, how long should they sit in a state of not being able to come back from that?
Well, and that's the other thing with Rose in particular was how much people denied or didn't listen or were willing to, like, a lot of the victims with Weinstein or even with Maxwell and Epstein, like, they deny, and how much of that just drives you crazy with people denying what you went through. And I did not mean for this to take such a serious turn. I apologize.
Well, it's fine. Well, so did anything else change?
In terms of if we could create this movie like in this era, I think something that would change is one, the creepiness of the men in general, other than the murderers, but also like the way they talk about Sydney's mother. I find to be very like, this woman was murdered, and you're still going around calling her a whore. Like, she was raped and murdered.
Yeah,
that they kind of lightly touched on it as if it weren't a big deal. That's a big fucking deal.
Yeah,
and I don't think they could do that today. Like, I don't think that would go over well.
So, well, what specific character are you talking about? Because if it was the
the whole town, the way they all discuss Sydney's mother, it's like she's
the
still
cheerleader did it.
Well, because the cheerleader I could buy, and I think that could still be in a movie, like just some character being a complete asshole.
Billy did it.
Yeah, just the way they refer to it, I guess, like calling her a slut all the time.
She obviously deserved to get raped and murdered because she was morally loose.
The fact that it seemed to be the consensus of the whole town. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, it's a great storyline and motive, but at the same time, it's like, I don't think we could. It's kind of like the first season of The Office.
We still
can't
put scarlet letters on people, though. We absolutely, as a society, still put scarlet letters on women.
Absolutely.
And so I think how they approached it would be different. But I think there would be some sort of alluding to the fact that she was a scarlet marked woman.
But I think it aged well. Like, I don't think there's any issues with it that's like, ooh, yeah, that didn't age well.
Except for the Fonz grabbing the
It's just
creepy.
Chin is weird.
Really
It's such an intimate place to touch somebody.
And I don't know if that was that acceptable for the time, or was that even weird when it came out?
No, that was weird when that
touch me.
Yeah, no, educators should not touch children.
Oh, so now you're on board.
I was never on board with touching children.
Oh, okay.
What the hell, Zach?
Her tune has changed.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so Kaya, what do you think this film did to contribute to cinema?
It's like it set the formula for teen horror movies. Like nothing will be as good as Scream, but they strive for it in every movie.
So, do you think that this is? I know you said that this is your favorite. Is this your favorite horror movie?
Yes.
Do you think it's the best horror movie? That's a slightly different question.
No, I would not say it's the best horror movie, but I don't know. I mean, it depends on what kind of standard you're looking for. If you're looking for something absolutely terrifying, like Jump Out, no, this isn't it. I would say the best horror movie done in that is scary. I would say Psycho. That's fucking scary, man.
It's a good answer. Although I saw that for the first time, maybe it was at the apartment, so I don't know, 5-6 years ago.
I saw it for the first time 2 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you were still scared and such?
Well, the first time I saw the Vince Vaughn version, which is a terrible
what?
thing.
No. There's a Vince Vaughn Psycho?
Oh, it's awful.
It's terrible.
So you know the whole thing that I always say is that I don't want something completely spoon-fed to me.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the original scenes in Psycho, he's looking at Vivian Leigh through
the peephole.
The peephole. but he's not doing anything but looking.
Yeah,
And
he's not, like-
that is creepy. Vince Vaughn, they made masturbate. And so...
What a Vince Vaughn thing to do.
Yeah.
Well...
All the time he is.
But so to me, giving him a reason to be peeping
Yeah.
made it less scary than him just being like watching.
Well, it's the same reason like why I love Rob Zombie, but I hate the Rob Zombie Halloween movies because it gives Michael Myers like a motive and a backstory. And I don't want to know any of that. What we have in the original movie in the beginning scene is all I need to know.
The not knowing is creepy. Just
Right.
knowing that he is a void.
Yeah.
So I saw the Rob Zombie version before I saw the original. So I kind of like the Rob Zombie one. I don't think it's as good as the original, but I kind of liked it just because it felt like the violence in it felt very...
It's too edgy for me. And I love Rob Zombie movies, but that one, those ones I can't stomach.
I didn't see the sequels, so I don't know if they're any good.
I also don't like how much animal abuse was in the Rob Zombies.
I didn't finish it all the way through, so I don't...
Oh, really? I saw it in the
could
theater,
not-
actually.
I could not finish watching it.
Oh.
So I personally think that the other thing that it contributed was that this is the first instance I recall of a very self-aware horror movie.
Yep, that's actually the same note that I took.
Yeah. It harkened to so many tropes, and that I thought was really entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, and they were totally like self-aware when they had the video of Halloween going on, and he's like, "Just look behind you."
Yeah.
And Mr. Scare or Scream was behind him.
Mr. Scare.
Mr. Scares.
Mr. Ghostface.
And there were several moments like that. I thought that was kind of cute. So, yeah, do you think this was the first one that was kind of meta in that way?
I mean, it's the first one that I remember. I'm not saying it's the first one, but I don't know. Like, this is the first one that kind of talked about the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's definitely tapping into, because there was teen horrors, you know, like all the Friday the 13th and Halloween, like those are all teen slasher films and teen murder movies, and even Nightmare on Elm Street. But I think this is the first one who gave the rules. See, Kevin Bacon had the sexy times, and this is why you can't have sex and survive a horror movie.
Yep.
It gave the final girl rules also.
If you show your boobs, you're getting...
Going down the tubes.
There you go.
I like it.
Love it.
All right, so are we ready to go to the Rhodes Award ceremony?
Okay, so Kaya, just so you know, we have the rose and the thorn. The rose is to the person who actually moves the story along, not necessarily just the hero, but the person who really moves the story and is entertaining and is the best character. The thorn goes to the person that, not necessarily a bad guy, but someone who slows the story or is just not holding their weight with acting or...
Just screwing up in some kind of way.
Yeah.
So the rose, I think, would go to Randy because he lays out the rules, provides comedic relief, and he's just a genuinely great character. And then I think the second place would go to Dewey, just for him being an innocent doofus. But I think Randy gets the rose. I think he's the underdog, you know?
I can be on board with you, Randy. So I've actually given my thorn to Deputy Duty. Because he's not a bad guy, but he's a terrible cop.
A bad cop.
So probably none of the end stuff, the end murders would have happened if he were just doing his job right.
Yeah.
So I have to give my thorn to him, but I won't reveal my rose yet.
Okay. So my rose I gave to Stu, Matthew Lillard, just because he really committed to the character he created. I just really thoroughly enjoyed his performance. And by the end, he was the most sympathetic villain. My thorn actually went to Gale Weathers and Dewey. It was a tie. Gale Weathers, just because, God, what a bitch. And Officer Dewey, what a maroon.
He was a maroon, wasn't he? It's such a maroon.
I think for my thorn, my number one is the parents in this town because where the fuck are the parents?
Hey, see, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
And then
I
number
would agree.
2 is Tatum because I just think she's trash.
I like Tatum.
She was all right.
She provided what she provided what she was there for, was to be the kind of like bitchy popular girl, but at the same time she's just a terrible fucking friend. Terrible friend.
The parents, I don't know if I would give it to them because they weren't a character in the movie. But
Yeah, but
that's kind of
their
why
lack of character.
But
their
that's
lack of
kind of
character.
the
The void.
point, yeah.
The void is what we would give it to, where their parents should be.
Void.
The rose, the thorn, and the void.
So I gave my rose to Sydney because
She's the final girl.
But she used good sense, and she got the best of the killers at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the middle of the movie, when she was getting attacked, she avoided getting attacked and figured out what's his face real quick.
Yeah.
Billy. So I thought she displayed some good sense and judgment in a movie where the archetype for the female characters usually rejects those sorts of attributes.
Well, I would make an argument that Sydney is not the final girl of the movie, but Dewey is. Because he's still a virgin. And he stays alive throughout all the movies, and Sydney does too. But
do we know that he's a virgin?
Just look at him.
Yeah, that guy's a virgin. Nobody
just look at his mustache.
Yeah, okay.
Just look at him.
Him having sex,
I take
You weren't
it back.
thinking.
I take it back.
him having sex is as plausible as a tit falling out at a party.
Look, tits fall out at parties.
The world's
Just-
an imperfect place.
But I would argue that he's the
Great
ultimate
line.
final girl because he does not sustain as much damage as Sydney does in these movies.
That's interesting. I like that as a theory. Let's talk to Wesley Cravens.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You do a seance or something.
Yeah, I've got a Ouija board.
Oh, fuck that. I'm getting out.
All right, so
He would definitely talk to people on Ouija boards.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
I would think so.
Yeah.
It's on brand for him.
Exactly.
So let's get into our ratings.
All right, hang on.
Are we laughing at me? I can never tell.
No, we're giving applause for the awards that we just gave out.
Gotcha.
Okay. So for the genre rating, I called it a slasher comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to give it a rating out of 10 for slasher comedy, what do you think you would do?
10. Well, I wouldn't call it a comedy per se. I'll go with like an 8 out of 10.
I said 7 out of 10. Which is, when you think about it in the grand scheme of the world, like if we're saying 10 is perfect, 7's respectable.
For a slasher comedy, could it be a better slasher comedy? I guess there could be more comedy.
Yeah, I would say there'd have to be
Like
more
Tucker
comedy.
and Dale versus Emo.
Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 slasher
Or
comedy.
The Babysitters.
But that's not even like I guess there was a slasher in Tucker and Dale. I forgot about that guy.
They
been a
were
while.
slashering themselves.
Yeah, for most of the movie, yeah.
I love that movie so much.
All right, so for slasher comedy, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
Wow, brutal.
But I that's just because there wasn't a whole lot of comedy.
Somebody showed a tit at that party. 10 out of 10.
That's why it's the 0.5 taken off.
So-
Directing? What do you think?
10 out of 10. Wes Craven is a legend.
10 out of 10. All right.
It would be like if you said that wasn't a 10 out of 10, like you are despicable.
Well,
like,
I think
you are like spewing on the grave of Wesley Craven.
I think that
I'm
both
about to be despicable.
Allison and I are both going to be despicable.
Oh, I kind of don't want to say what my rating is now. I've never felt
Say it.
intimidated by a guest before.
I'm upset now.
Well, Chris was intimidating me the whole time for liking Stanley Kubrick and for liking
Chris-
Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, okay. Well, Quentin Tarantino, he's a hack, but
All right, well, I'll defend him again.
Stanley Kubrick is great. So
let's just skip directing and go to writing.
Nope, directing.
no,
what are you doing?
I want to know.
I want to know. Won't you tell me? Sorry, go ahead. What's your director rating?
7 out of 10.
7 out of
That's
10.
fine. It's not like it's a 3. Zach, I'm looking at you now. What are you about to do? What
Well,
kind
you
of
said
bullshit are
if
you
it
pulling
wasn't
out of
a
your
10
hat?
out of 10, you're going to beat us up.
I
or
mean,
something.
I'm not going to beat you up. Just Wesley Cravens is upset.
He'll let me know when I talk to him on the Ouija.
The Ouija. Sounds like a Discord server. On the Ouija.
When I get on the Ouija. So I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Wow, get the fuck out of your own house. Just get out.
5 out of 10. And
Is it because you just now are seeing this movie, or is it because...
Well, I saw it as a little baby boy, but I don't really remember any of it, so I had to watch it again. And it was like watching it for the first time. And no, I think a 5 out of 10 rating from my scale isn't a bad rating.
What gets a 10 out of 10 for you?
Like the best. So everything
Right,
lives on
so
the same
name-
spectrum.
So what's the best?
Well, again, so it's when you just put me on the spot, you go for the archetype. So your Godfathers and things like that.
I wouldn't argue. Well, Godfather 1 maybe. The rest are garbage.
Well, I haven't seen the other ones. I've only seen one.
What's a 10 out of 10 horror movie for you?
I don't think we've unearthed one yet.
Wow.
I certainly
not
haven't
on the show.
Yeah, I haven't rated one a 10 out of 10. Well, I mean, but okay, so I give them critical ratings and heart ratings. So there are some that I think are brilliant and I love them, and I would give them like a 9 or 10 out of 10. But critically, I wouldn't. And so I try to separate these things.
Okay.
So I don't know, for directing. Shining.
Oh yeah. Okay. I'll yeah.
The
absolutely.
shinning.
Yeah.
The shinning. He's got the shinning.
He's got the shinning. There should have been a character with an accent like that.
Because that's straight from The Simpsons. That's not even in the movie.
Quiet boy, do you want to get sued? So writing.
What would you give it?
10 out of 10.
Good Lord.
Nothing about this movie is wrong.
Tens across the board.
All right, Allison.
I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 5.
When we go to the acting part, I have some words, but I think that could also be due to the writing. So maybe I'll lower it to a 9.5.
Okay. All right. So slightly imperfect. Only slightly.
Only slightly.
So that brings us to acting.
Acting!
You have to, when you say it.
They don't know that I'm making a hand gesture or not.
It's like
but
when
we
you're
do.
smiling,
We do.
it reaches your voice and your eyes.
It does not.
It does too. See?
So,
Sam is smiling right now. You can hear it.
Ew.
She's
What's happening over
smizing?
there? She sounds constipated, doesn't she?
Rude.
Can you sound constipated?
I just heard it.
Like squeezing.
Do you hear the things
All right, so
not
guys-
coming out?
Guys,
Like,
all right, so we're gonna go
quiet-
outside and
Is the quiet void the constipation?
doesn't this sound constipated though? So if I
No, it
let's
sounds like you
go
have a
over
hernia.
the hernia in my bowels.
Herniated bell.
Gonna drop an O-ring.
Oh my god.
All right,
So
this has been the
acting-
filthiest episode so far. So thank you for coming on to lower the tone. I love it.
I always lower the standards of everything I do.
All right, so acting, what would you give it?
I would say, so for Neve Campbell, I think everybody did a good job, but for Neve Campbell, I think she had really good one-liners that she really missed the mark on. She either talked too quietly, or she talked too low, or it just sounded cringy, and I think she was trying too hard. It was very Kristen Stewart, Twilight awkward for me.
Interesting.
Line.
Yeah.
So the riff tracks for that. So you said that part of your problem was that sometimes she said her lines too low.
Too low or too quickly, like when there's a great line, you should hit it right so that it resonates. Like people are like, wow, that's awesome, and like the words sounded great, but the way she effectuated the words sounded terrible.
She can be a very breathy actress. Like in The Craft, she was kind of breathy.
Yeah, but she was bitchy in The Craft. She did a great job in The Craft. 10 out of 10 on that. But this, I'm just kind of like, you're a little too whiny and just not doing this right.
To quote
She does
Gus
better in
from
the other
Psych,
movies, though.
I might have been a little pitchy.
Well, she does better in the other movies. She really comes into the character in 2, 3, 4. I don't like to consider 4 part of the Scream movies, to be honest.
Oh, why?
With you. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen any of this. Oh, I saw part of the one that was about a movie set or something.
That's 3. It's fun if you want it to be, but I don't consider it canon because I think it's just silly.
Too silly.
Yeah, it's too silly.
Does it seem like it kind of crossed the threshold into being a spoof of itself?
I think so, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite in the franchise. I think 1 is still the best. 2 is fine.
3's my favorite after 1.
Really? I think you're the only one I know who said that.
Because I've got bed.
So that's the one about, that's the one with the movie set and stuff.
set, yeah.
So what was the second story?
They're in college, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she finds out she's got a brother.
All right, so that was acting. Well, did you give your acting, Allison?
6 out of 10.
6? I'm going for a 5 again.
5s across the board.
Yeah. Except for slasher comedy, I gave that a 6.5. All right, so for your real rating, so this is your critical rating, your overall rating for the whole movie. This
Like if
encompasses
you were an
everything.
Ebert.
And this is your critical, not your love, but your critical rating. What would you give it out of 10?
Okay, I'd maybe say a 7 out of 10.
Okay, 7 out of 10 overall critical rating.
Yeah.
All right, Allison?
I gave mine a 5 out of 10 from a critical perspective, which will be different than my heart perspective.
I gave it 5 out of 10 for
Then
my
why
critical.
are you putting the 2 fingers up?
This is the Roman V.
Oh.
That's actually, no, I was trying to throw you off each time, but it also makes sense.
That was stupid.
So, heart rating. What does your heart say? I think I know.
15 out of 10.
15 out of 10? This is unprecedented.
Breaking the scales.
It's just so lovable. You want to love every character in there except for Sydney's mother.
Well, also Angelina Jolie's, grippy, what's her, damn it.
Courtney Cox?
Nope. Blonde.
Rose McGowan?
Rose McGowan.
Angelina Jolie, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
No, just Rose McGowan. Rose McGowan. I thought you said you didn't like her character.
I don't like Tatum. I'm not a fan. I think I respect the idea of Tatum, but I don't like Tatum.
Okay. So what do you mean you respect the idea of her character?
Because it's always good to have a bitchy friend, right? But she's there's being a bit like I am the bitchy friend to Allyson, but I deeply care for Allyson, and if someone's trying to murder her, I would take care of her. Tatum is a bitchy friend, and she does not care if someone's trying to murder her friend.
Or take care of, or
she drew a line over her neck.
I wouldn't take you to a party during like a slasher serial killer
outbreak.
This is also like the reason we've only seen each other like now during the pandemic.
Right, exactly. I care for her health and safety, and Tatum's like, let's get drunk and not show our tits at a party.
Stupid. Okay, so your heart rating is 15 out of 10.
15 out of 10.
That is crazy. All right, so Allyson?
Mine still stays at 7.
7 out of 10 for the heart rating, which contrasts with your 5 out of 10 for the critical rating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, my heart rating, 5 out of 10.
Hey, I got it right. He put up
Yep.
10 fingers that time. That's crazy.
I thought it was kind of middle of the road across the board, my emotions toward it. Like, it was fun. It wasn't scary. There were a couple of moments that were a little bit suspenseful. I got one jump out of me.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
I'm trying to
One
think
whole jump.
I'm trying to think which part it was.
The mask. No, it was just Dewey screaming.
Actually, it might have been the mask. I can't remember. It might have been when he held up the mask to the door.
That's
for
Zach's
some
so
reason.
with that scene.
It made no sense to happen. Made no sense to have happened. So yeah, I don't know, but I liked it. I thought it was quite good. Quite good. I'd watch it again if someone had a gun to my head.
Oh, okay.
And
that was aggressive.
and
Yeah.
other situations as well.
Zach
Probably
is really aggressive.
I
today.
know.
No, I mean if someone had it on and refused to hand over the click, I think I would.
The remote.
The movie Click by
clicker?
Adam Sandler?
Also a good movie.
Oh God! Get the fuck out of your own house again.
Just kidding. It wasn't.
But your eyes are saying yes. It is.
My eyes are. Don't try to read my eyes.
Yeah, it's much better to get an honest reaction from Zach by reading his nostril flares.
Oh, he's flaring a lot.
I'm hiding my flares.
How do you feel about Samwise Gamgee and Click being the lifeguard /
Oh yeah, that was a little weird. Yeah. But you know he can turn his hand to many different types of characters.
He was in 50 First Dates too.
Yes, he was. Wasn't he like some sort of jockey dude?
I think he was a brother.
Drew Barrymore's brother, and kind of like a buff guy.
Yeah.
So next time on the RTR, we are, as stated before, breaking with our convention.
And are you ready to reveal the movie that we're breaking convention for?
I am. We will be watching The Conjuring.
The Conjuring.
Ooh. Wait, Zach, have you not seen The Conjuring?
No.
Oh, you are in for
a treat.
A treat.
I've seen the second one.
So let's cue
not
up
as
the
good as this
trailer.
Oh
Really?
yeah, playing the trailer.
So,
playing the trailer.
I've heard different things from different people. I've heard
Chris
people
said
say
on
that.
the last one that he preferred the.
I know we fight about this often.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
didn't mean to
think that
open
the
an old
first
wound.
one is the best, and the first 10 minutes is the best Annabelle.
Right, it's 9:18. We're headed down into the cellar where the doors just opened on its own.
Where the
Give us a
doors
sign
just
that you
opened.
want to communicate with us.
I love him. That's Nymeria, not the trailer. Oh, that's creepy.
What are you guys? Well, we've been called ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
But we prefer to be known simply as Ed and Lorraine Warren.
You couldn't tell by the music. It takes place in the 70s.
Yeah, right.
This one is so disturbing. They've kept it locked away.
There's something horrible happening in my house.
The clock stopped working.
1st, 1971. I'm sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences. You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
What is it? Whatever Lorraine sees, feels, touches, it takes a toll on her. A little piece each time.
You have a lot of spirits in here, but there's one that I'm most worried about because it is so hateful.
The spirit of our Lord.
We have to get out of here.
That's not gonna help.
This thing has latched itself to your family.
Father, we never seen nothing like this.
I'm coming with you.
No way. I can't lose you.
There's a lady in a dirty nightgown that I see in my dreams.
Dirty nightgown.
Dirty, filthy.
Do you want to see him?
Yeah.
And the music stops.
Oh,
and the mirror standing behind you.
Children.
All right, so is this a happy movie?
yeah, it's a comedy. It's another horror comedy.
Sweet. What would you give it as a nostalgia rating? So the first time you saw it, I know it's a very modern movie.
Wait,
but
Scream?
No, The Conjuring.
Oh.
If you can think back to the first time you saw it, what do you remember feeling about it?
First time I saw this in theaters, I think I was on a first date.
Aw.
So I don't think fondly.
So I saw it in the theaters, and when I was leaving, it was dark and rainy out. It was already kind of a spooky fall evening. And leaving the movie theater, as I'm driving, a spider slowly lowers itself like right in front of me as I'm getting onto a very busy highway.
Oh, boy.
It was almost several deaths.
I love them.
I think she loves sharks. I mean, she really loves
Well, they
them.
also do Insidious, and I don't know if the movies connect yet, but I have a feeling they will.
Oh, I thought they
Well,
did.
it's I don't think they will.
What about the Annabelle movies? Do those connect?
Those are in the
Well, the
Conjuring
animals
universe.
are part of it. Yeah,
Okay.
Annabelle, La Llorona,
The Nun.
The Nun. Those
The
are
Nun
all.
was a terrible movie.
Did I see The Nun?
I don't know.
I
if
hope
you did.
not.
I saw it when I was by myself.
Well, did The Conjuring 2 have a nun running around doing stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I just saw that.
Yeah, because they
she's
allude
in
to
it,
her.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I remember The Nun, and I remember what they call him, like the TikToky man.
Yeah, that's the second one.
The crooked man.
Yeah.
The crooked man.
Who walked a crooked mile.
You sure did. Anyway, did you decide what you would give it as a nostalgia rating?
I would give it like an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
because it's I think something that's been lacking in our like day and age is like a really good scary movie, and that opened that up because those are good scary movies.
Yeah, the second one was pretty scary, I'd say.
Yeah, so I actually changed my score to a 7.5 out of 10. It was originally a 6.5.
What made you change it?
The more I thought about it, the more I liked it. There was just something about this movie that just hit on so many good, creepy notes. Now, what I think you will find problematic or have a hard time with is I know you don't necessarily like the religious aspect of horror movies, like especially for exorcist kind of films.
I just think it's overdone, that's all.
Yeah, well, so you cannot eliminate the element of religion within this film.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the part that will either make or break it for you.
Yeah,
But
you
that's
also
my theory.
can't eliminate religion from exorcism because the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
the whole
You can't have
exorcism
one
is
without
a
the other.
religious ceremony.
Yeah. Unless you had a creative writer who came up with their own mythology, their own spirituality.
Like Velocipaster.
Yes.
Just like
surprisingly
Velocipaster.
similar to that. That's what I was thinking of. Yep. So with that, I think that's unless you have any closing remarks. Do you have any social media you'd like to promote, Kaya?
Absolutely not. But thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be here today.
You're
we loved
welcome.
having you.
Yes, you've been a fantastic guest.
I think this is our longest recording yet.
Ah,
Yeah, we've been here for 5 hours.
Yeah, well, 4.
We've been recording for 4.
Oh, have you been here longer than that?
I've been here forever.
Oh, God, you've always been here.
Secretly, yeah, she hasn't left. Your roommate is getting quite tired of her
I've
being
been
in your
here for
closet.
like 2 years, Zach. I never left living here.
Oh, my God. So you've just been wearing a Josh mask this whole time?
Who's Josh?
He's the guy that lives
roommate.
downstairs.
You spent so much time in his closet and you haven't introduced yourself.
To Josh? He's a good guy. You're going to love him.
Well, I was upstairs.
Oh, you've been in the attic, I see. All right, well, thank you for listening to this episode of Rose Tinted Reels. I've been your co-host, Zachary Duncan.
I've been Allison. Our theme music was created by Julian Crowhurst. Thank you, Julian.
All right, we'll see you next time.